I just, like I said, I think overall, of course, I mean, it was creative, but it also disrespected the rules a little bit. I know me and you disagree on this.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They literally tried to bury Brock alive underneath all the rubble. By the way, you know, this is a great sports entertainment match and rare one when Paul Heyman actually takes a bump.
Well, that was the thing. I'm just looking at myself like
he did. He took a good bump.
I'm just looking at myself like, well, Paul's not getting back up, and Paul had to be carried out by the Usos. Like Paul just went on a bender.
So yeah, like I said, overall, one, I was thoroughly sports entertained. Number two, just kind of push a kibosh on their rivalry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And number three, we probably won't see Brock for a long time, if ever again.
I don't know if his leg is actually fucked up because
No. He walked in the ring after the match.
Right, yeah,
After the show was over.
But
and he stood up on the thing.
Well, it's time for the harvest, first of all.
Right. Well, first of all,
Brock has to bring in the harvest.
He has to go get the corn and go kill some hogs, so he's going to be gone for winter.
I need to call the local DNR of Saskatchewan. Hold on. I need to call the local DNR of Saskatchewan and find out what the nearest closest tagged animal is to Brock Lesnar's land, because I guarantee it's about 100 miles in every direction. There's not a single piece of wildlife in Brock Lesnar's land.
It's all dead. It's all dead already.
It is.
And number four, I don't know how Drew's going to do it. Because the problem is the constant interference of the Usos. People forget it was the interference of Jay that actually cost him at SummerSlam.
Well, I told you a while back, and I told Leroy this too. The guy who finally beats Roman is the guy who, not during the championship match, beforehand gets rid of the Usos.
Right.
That is the only way that you're going to beat.
And that dude is insanely capable of it.
Oh, I'm aware.
Oh, yeah.
Drew McIntyre is insanely capable of getting rid of your help.
Can we also can we also give Drew credit, because this hasn't been seen on WWE for a while. The emotion he showed towards the end of that match with Sheamus.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that he sold you that a 20-year friendship was ending.
Right.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre is anything and everything you ever wanted in a professional wrestler in any era.
Right.
And that is why he's still, and even the fact that he hasn't lost, but he is legitimately someone that the fans will pop for, especially in his home fucking country.
Oh, for sure.
When he takes one, if not both, the belts off.
It'll be like I said, right now, the reason I am so like the great story is him actually taking the belts off is twofold. One, because Roman losing his title before the Usos creates a very interesting dynamic in the bloodline.
Yes.
And then two, the fact that it's the guy that he tried to give cry face to
Yes.
a couple years ago. And the guy he really hasn't wanted to fight again.
Yeah.
Even more so than Brock has been Drew McIntyre.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it really does line up for Drew to get that W, and to win both of those titles. Here will be the interesting thing.
Okay.
Will they change their mind and only do it for one of the titles at Cardiff?
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Drew is gonna get a pop no matter what.
Right.
So this might be the chance to Paul Heyman weasel in and find a way to make sure that the because it's going to be the WWE title.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one coming off Roman. It's not going to be the
Oh,
Universal title. But the WWE title going to Drew, him getting the pop that he didn't get at WrestleMania, him having it be in his home country,
Right.
the fact that they're selling all these tickets probably because everyone knows the hometown boy's getting something.
Right.
This is the prime opportunity if they book it well and they book it right. And you've got Paul, who is the biggest weasel in wrestling and could make it Paul could sell you air, and you'll be breathing it while he's talking to you.
Right.
This is...
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do this.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really impressive.
See me when things was going
remember,
on.
they've sorry to interrupt. They've kept both belts. When you keep both belts, they're eventually going to be split again.
Right.
Yes. No,
Go ahead, Larry.
Trust me, I was shocked when all of a sudden when he grabbed the tractor and started moving the ring and then he put it up. I'm like, what the heck is he doing? I'm like,
you didn't think that was going to happen? I straight up knew that was happening the minute he brought it down.
I didn't know. I thought he was going to do something or whatever. But when he did that, and I was like, okay, they're not going to have a title change. Theory's not going to cash in his the contract because of what they're doing there.
Allison actually asked the question, how is Theory going to turn this into an actual match and pin one of them? I'm like,
I've never seen a triple threat last man standing.
Yeah,
no, neither
I
have I.
had no idea how that was going to work.
So with him doing the ring like that, I'm like, how the heck is that going to work? I'm like, nope, this is not going to work.
Well, that was the other thing. This match, if you go back and watch it, there wasn't a single loophole coming out of it.
Right.
Now,
No.
the loophole of the Uso interference, well, that's always there. I mean, like, that's...
Well, it's a no DQ match. That's not that. To me, that wasn't the problem.
No,
No.
Yeah.
It kind of was. Now, some people say it was the stacking of the stuff, but that's not a problem.
No.
We've actually seen that in last man standing matches.
Yeah.
There is a precedence for it. It was the fact that Roman did stand on him before the 10 count.
But the
was up.
visual is when Roman finally raised his hand in the air, the referee's fingers were at 10. So so if you ask me, it's a literal 1 second difference that nobody was paying attention to.
Right.
That at the end of the day, unless you're us who want to overly analyze it, and look, when I overly analyze AEW, it's because they really fucked it up. This was just one of those things that I think we all knew the result to anyway. We never know Tony's results because according to him, no one else knows it but him and the Bucks.
No comment. But yeah, so overall, I thought this was.
I gave it a 4.
I thought this was a 4 out of 5. Like I said, the Ronda one and then the no DQ tag one, I was just like, But
by
by the
okay.
way, that looks really cool in waveform when
Yeah,
I just did
but
that.
anyway, but now,
Yeah, I
but
know,
now, Jesse,
bro.
a quick side note to this, and I'll ask you guys this as we go. I don't think people really take into account what it takes to make a 5-star show. A full show being 5 stars, unless you're AEW and Dave Meltzer's doing the ratings. When you're actually getting real...
I mean, if your name's Gato, you kind of know how to do it. You're a short, little, balding Asian man.
That's...
About, like 5'5". Used to be one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time.
There we go.
Decided, you know what? These white boys got something going on with this whole NWO thing. Let's like steal it a little bit and change it up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just going on.
There you go. There you go.
Continue here.
This is why Leroy and I are here, folks.
But I mean,
we literally could just turn on these mics, go see a movie, and by the time we get back, Jesse will be in the 60s.
Oh, it'll still be a
of
4-hour
Japan.
show. I'll still go.
There
I'll
we
still be
go.
going.
Jesse will be... After 3 hours, Jesse will only be at the 80s of Japanese wrestling.
There
Like,
we go.
I mean,
that's about
it'll be a
right.
Ric Flair Hall of Fame speech. Like we ain't even in the 80s, and we're like 2 hours into this.
Oh yeah.
But I do agree. 4 out of 5. I mean,
It was a good show.
I thought it was a really good show.
2 matches in there, not the greatest, but everything around it, incredible. I still think about the beginning, the first 2 matches of the pay-per-view, and I just love it.
So now
Great.
we get into the next.
Before we do, shout out to our first ever Patreon.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Our good friend Cal, who also has his own podcast.
Friends of
Make
the
sure
Squared
you
Circle.
check him out. Friends of the Squared Circle is an all-access member, which means Cal, before the rest of you, will get the podcast before the rest of you, before it goes live. Now, me and the rest of the guys will figure out when the new podcast will go live. But this is the perks of doing the Patreon.
Yep.
So
Well-
thank you, Cal, for being the first supporter.
I know when it's going to go live is when I put it on.
Right. But now we'll have to kind of change it.
Yeah,
That way people are still getting
We're changing things up now, Leroy.
People are
I
getting
know.
premium access for paying.
It's a real business now.
There we go.
But
I
anyway,
know.
But big shout out.
Yep.
And anytime you sign up for the Patreon, you will get the first shout outs, even
Yep.
if you don't send in
Yeah.
anything. So Cal, thank you for the
yeah,
for the,
no,
for the
that's super appreciated. He's literally one of the best people in the world.
He really is.
He really is just one of the
Are
best
we
people.
are we going to send people gifts for doing this yet? Or not?
Actually, yes.
We're working on it.
We're working
So
on it. Okay.
we will actually at some point hopefully within the next 2 weeks I can get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably within the next week. I will be sending kind of the first gifts to Cal. I'll let him take some photos with them.
Yep.
And then you guys will kind of see what you get for becoming a Patreon
There we
member.
go.
So, as Leroy pointed out, to transition here, he was still thinking about the first 2 matches of the night towards the end of the show, which is always a good,
Right.
sign of a
Oh,
good
yeah,
show.
yeah.
So now we had a debut because never officially released, and we had a return all in the first match. Where do you guys see the roster shaping up now that Triple H is in charge of everything?
I smell a draft after Cardiff.
A draft?
We might be at Jesse, based on their normal timeline, we might be at the draft.
Right, yeah.
Because we're all going to the October 4th show.
Which will be sweet as hell.
Oh, God, it's going to be.
And don't worry, Leroy. You get to ride alone with your lovely girlfriend. Jesse will ride with me
Sure.
and Allison.
That's fine, because after the show, I might have to stop off and. It might be a good.
Things I didn't need to know.
It might be a good night. I have to, how fast I can drive home.
Leroy 2.0.
And
We're
I-
not even after dark, but Leroy will.
And I
let
get to
those-
hug still, so
Well, you
I'm
know.
gonna cuddle. Yeah.
Anyway, where do you guys see the roster shaping
Oh,
up?
my
Now, we have to
God.
get to. He's going to be on the last part of this show a lot, and Jesse's not happy about it, but too bad he talks too much. TK recently said in an interview that he's got Adam Cole and Malachi Black signed for at least 5 years. We can also confirm, Kyle O'Reilly signed a
Right.
5-year deal.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will not be jumping ship because of the contract. This is the first time, by the way, Tony's actually sounded like Vince about the fact that the contracts are very finite and no one's going
Right.
anywhere. Funny how that works.
You know-
Watch these be very exclusive in the next couple of years, folks. Watch them be very exclusive in the next couple of years. But anyway, so where do you see a lot of the guys who maybe only have a year or two left? Because I mean, the thing is that Vince is gone. I know Punk had some stuff to say. We'll get into him a little later. But here's the deal. Triple H will be in charge. Everyone has good things to say about Papa H, even the guys who jump ship to AEW or are back in the Indies. I'm just saying, folks, there's a woman right now who I'm just going to throw the name out there. I don't know how long she's signed, but boy, you look at her booking, she might as well just leave. Ruby Soho might be looking to change her name back to Ruby Riott here in a year or two because he's in
agree.
charge. And Jesse, I'm going to let you go ahead and drop this now so we can get that out of the way. You've got reports that
So
a
I'm
lot's
actually-
going to change.
I was actually looking at expirations for.
Well, before we get to that, go ahead to your statement because you said earlier you have a lot of insider information that NXT is going to change.
So,
The view of it's going to change. Go ahead.
So the report goes, Triple H in an interview with BT Sport and a couple others.
Yeah.
After what apparently was an absolutely disastrous tryout.
We're going to talk about
I
that
did hear about that.
after
Oh my
we get through
God.
this because
I'm just mentioning it because this is when it was mentioned originally, I guess.
Yep.
And he did some clarification. NXT is going to undergo some changes. One of the big ones people are speculating is the coloring. Apparently, he was never a fan of the
Well,
coloring.
no, and I agree. But here's the thing, though. The one thing that Triple H won't talk about because Vince never talked about it either was and I'm not trying to back my way out of it. I'm not disagreeing with you that it's going to change. We'll see how long the quote-unquote licensing deals for that stuff is because you can't just immediately can't change something because a lot of times, like what's the rapper Wale? I think it is.
Something like that.
Yeah, his theme was there. Triple H has always been more of a rock guy. The color scheme, if they already have stuff printed. So it's going to come down to if Triple H can convince a lot of these people that have licensing deals that the change is for the better. So I'm not saying this is incorrect. I agree with you. And I've always said Triple H will make a lot of changes. But how long that timeline goes is dependent upon how long people are willing to let the licensing agreements go, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So, with your statements out the way,
Go for it.
so it's the coloring. Some people are getting their names back.
Yep.
NXT will probably be the first to be TV 14.
Yes.
And then
So that's not official going forward
it's
yet.
not official, but apparently. So I don't have the quote in front of me.
Yeah.
He alluded to a lot of these things
Right. Yeah.
in his interview with BT Sport and Ariel Hasawani.
By the way, Ariel does a great job.
Ariel's a phenomenal interviewer.
Yeah.
The other thing that was brought up was with NXT is the fact that some titles actually could be shared between NXT and the main roster. I think the big one he's alluding to
that I'd heard.
is the AEW tag, the AEW.
The women's tag team.
The
title.
women's
the
tag
WWE
team.
women's tag team titles
Because there are more women's tag teams in NXT right now established than there are on the main roster.
But what we saw yesterday, I think we're leaning to whoever the inaugural ones or the renewed ones.
Yes.
They won't be called the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. It's the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
Which, by the way, interesting to note, Roxanne Perez is not a part of that in any way, for those of you that haven't looked at the brackets. So she's clearly moving on to the Cora Jade feud.
Right. The other one is that the NXT Championship will actually be defended more on main roster. Now, there'll still be NXT matches.
Well, now, okay, main roster TV or main roster premium live events?
Premium live events.
Got it. Okay.
In that every now and then you will actually see, they won't be full call-ups per se.
Yeah.
But you will actually start to see more NXT talent actually interact with main roster.
So basically,
right.
quote unquote, we're going to expose them to our main roster audience.
I think there's an actual chance that what this is a bit of that.
Because Triple H did say, and this is actually fact, ever since he took over, he did say he needs to not create the original NXT idea of a third brand. There has to be some combination hybrid of what the black and gold was and what developmental is.
Right.
So basically, I hear he's going back to what it was before it got to TV.
Sure.
When it was still on the network.
Sure, but like I said, it sounds like it's not just a hybrid.
Yeah.
But you're going to see a lot more interaction between all three.
Okay, yeah.
And then also what he kind of alluded to. So Vince wasn't always high on a lot of the NXT UK talent, unless he actually saw them.
Are we still going with our idea here at the show that, and again, I'm not trying to get Vince out of anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. Do you think that was more Bruce and Johnny in his ear too much, or do you think Vince actually just didn't believe in it?
You wanted me to be honest? Don't know, don't care.
Okay, fair enough.
There we go.
And that's fine. I just want to make sure that,
But he alluded to the fact that it took too long to get a Walter over here for anything.
Oh, yeah.
Who's now Gunther.
Probably going to keep that.
I was about to say, what I understand from rumors is Gunther's going to keep that name so he can keep Walter in case he ever goes back to the game.
Right, and the other thing about it is that is something that if you want to keep a Vince thing, that was going fine.
That was, yes.
He also said that the name change thing isn't going to be... I'll say indoctrinate is probably not the right word that he used, but basically it won't be something that they have to live their life by in creative.
Yes.
If they've already got an established name and they're using an established name and it's working, what they'll do is what they've always done in the past, which is, we'll give you a contract that while you're with WWE, we have licensing rights.
Yeah.
You'll still get paid.
Yep.
But we'll have the licensing rights. And then the last two big things he alluded to, the last one is actually AEW related.
Yep.
But one of the last things he alluded to was WWE superstars being allowed now, not just the companies that they went and bought up like Evolve and all that.
Right, yeah.
But companies like MLW once all that legal stuff is taken care of.
Yeah.
And then the big thing he alluded to, which got people's juices flowing before Tony Khan ran his mouth about the contract.
Yeah.
Was he did mention, yes, Vince and Tony had been in contact, which is why some of the music and all that stuff and other things were exchanged. He is very open to the fact of working with them.
Yes.
Not just in a exchanging thing, but actually doing matches between the wrestlers.
Right.
Now, I would assume him, Stephanie, and Nick's thoughts on that are the ones I've already given on that.
Yeah.
And that their stance, while they're much looser than Vince, is the fact that if they're going to go work in AEW for any reason, Tony that day has, because they would, of course, insure their wrestlers.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You need to insure ours if we're going to do that.
Which, by the way, leads me to Tony, and now that we're kind of fully on that.
Sure.
Okay, I'm, again, not trying to be a Debbie Downer, but when you've looked at the booking that Tony has had for the last 3 years, the only person, in my opinion, who could sour grapes this relationship is Tony Khan. Because
Oh, yeah.
remember, he soured with Impact because of how they were booking the Impact guys.
Sure.
So if down the line you see less and less of WWE wanting to do it, it's not all of a sudden Triple H became Vince. It's you're sending your guys and they're looking like fucking horse shit.
Right.
Because Triple H, especially with what he had to go through after he got back from being sick, he's not going to put all this effort into a guy and then have you borrow him for a couple of weeks and then he looks like fucking dog shit and then come back and then be like, what the fuck do I do now? The last 3 weeks of TV for you have been absolutely nothing. So this is where Tony needs to wake up and realize you're playing with the big boys now. They are not going to sit back and let you do whatever you want.
Right.
Now, at first they will because they're open to it. But if they all of a sudden start seeing their talent fall off a cliff while they're on your programming, you're going to get some phone calls about what's going to happen with our talent when it's there. And if we close this door down, we don't need the door.
Right.
So, Jesse, I want there to be synergy between both companies.
Right.
That's what I want. I want to make that clear.
Right.
But I don't see this souring on the Triple H side as much as it might sour from the Tony side.
Right.
That's my point. Your thoughts?
I've always said this can work.
100%.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, the reason you used to see Macho Man and Hulk Hogan in New Japan back in the day was because Vince had such a great rapport with Antonio Inoki, and they had an understanding when we exchange wrestlers,
Yeah.
we'll take care of each other's talent, and we'll also try to make sure that we're not hurting whatever booking you're trying to do
Yes.
with that talent.
Yes.
Now, when Antonio kind of became less and less involved, that relationship soured a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's just because Vince is an older guy, did not trust the younger guys. We know Vince's stance on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole reason he bought WCW, never rehired Vince Russo.
Yep.
We know.
Yeah.
If you want to know all about that, Jim Cornette has an omnibus of stories on that.
He does.
So
His Cody Omnibus was actually hilarious.
his Cody omnibus is very funny.
There was actually 2, and it was over 23 hours of.
Well, some of it was about, most of it, I think, was about like the TV show, which was fucking terrible.
It was,
Because like
yeah.
he watched the whole thing, and I don't know why.
Because you damn people asked us for it.
But yeah,
I guess.
Triple H, and especially Triple H and Stephanie, have always said, and one of the big reasons they brought Nick Khan in was
Right.
because they wanted to broker good deals with other wrestling companies.
Yeah.
Ones that benefited them and the other company. Why? Because they understand that their fans would actually like to see WWE talent,
Yeah.
every now and then face off against talent that they don't have like major rights to or anything like
Yeah,
that. And Triple H knows it works because he started in the early 90s when a lot of that happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's like, hey, it's worked in the past.
But
and
the
these
thing
guys
about
have great relationships.
But the thing about it is, your boy, who you think is the best booker right now in wrestling, Scott D'Amore,
sure.
he has not alluded to anything involving AEW since Kenny dropped the belt. And the reason being is because he had to see what was happening to his
Here's the
product.
Big thing. Here's the big thing. Because AEW basically cost him a main event scene for 2 months doing that shit.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
now we've documented on the show, but once again, just a quick quip. Because you were watching Impact, that they had no main event scene.
They basically used the women, which Scott D'Amore has done better than
I'm
most.
not saying that you can't use the knockouts
Right.
for a short period of
Right,
time,
right.
but this is wrestling. We got to get the heavyweight title
Right,
back
right,
into
right.
this. But for 2 months, it didn't exist.
It was wasted.
Yeah.
Now,
Now, yes, Kenny wasn't in the best of health, but I don't think that the booking was any different. I don't think Kenny was going to wrestle 4 times a week
by
on
the
Impact.
way,
No.
looking at some of the contract stuff, you know what I just realized?
What?
Ricochet, apparently, for those who don't know, is signed through 2025 now.
Yeah, because he had just signed that extension recently.
Well, he just signed an extra extension on top of
Right,
it
yeah.
recently.
I could see that,
apparently.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
so-
See, I'm not looking at people from AEW coming over yet. I'm looking at people like.
I am, because guess what? Tony's dropping half that roster by the
Well,
end of the year.
I know. I don't see
He ain't
many.
picking up options on half those people.
I don't see many-
Actually, well,
a
go ahead,
few, But I see what happened with Dakota Kai. People that aren't on contract from anybody coming back.
Well, from what I heard, she was going to go to AEW, but that contract negotiation fell through quick.
Right.
That's what I heard.
And as we all hope that this is a feeling that Bray Wyatt could be coming back. I think a very good chance of that.
Well, Jesse has reported that, according to the family, the itch is there, but is it there enough to where he's actually going to do something with it?
So recent rumors have said, because a lot of people, now that Triple H is in charge, and he said, I hear you, he's been inundated with.
Yeah.
So last time you talked to Bray, when's the last time you talked to Bray? When's the last time you talked to Bray?
He's incredibly now we all know Vince was getting someone to tweet for him, but Triple H is on his own Twitter and he's very interactive with the fans on Twitter, which I think is going to be very helpful. Stephanie will probably pull back from that because she's going to be at such a high level.
So Nick Khan has confirmed he's actually in constant communication, like basically every month with Bray Wyatt.
Well, they have to be. They're still paying him for the friggin'
for all the merchandise.
You were the one that said. It was honestly cheaper to keep him.
Dude, it really was merchandise-wise, because now they still owe him all the rights for that, because he owned half the rights. That was the contract he negotiated before.
Yeah,
which was fucking brilliant.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
I think Bray will be back.
Okay.
I do. Yes.
I think it's literally just a matter of when the story works.
Yeah.
When they what.
Because the one thing we know about Bray, he never does whack stuff.
No.
Now his stuff comes off wacky because it's a little more, sports entertaining than wrestling.
Sure.
But everything still worked for him.
Right.
So I'm with you. I think there is so much smoke. There's no way there isn't a fire.
Oh yeah.
So AEW, most of the ones that come up in 2024.
This will be interesting.
And I can't think of anybody he would want.
Triple H would want a lot of them.
Well, MJF, yes.
MJF's gone. MJF is out of AEW.
I'm about to say except MJF, but MJF right now is a tricky thing because I actually think he's gone. I think he's going to negotiate out of his contract.
Yeah.
Triple H will want him though.
And for MJF, that's the smartest thing for him to do. After all that shit, I really.
Well, but
think
what
so.
bothers me is the story that no one's talking about is that Punk was supposed to face MJF, and I think All Out.
Yeah.
For the title, and MJF was going to take it from him. But what bothers me is Punk gets hurt, fine, but then you just shelve the second biggest draw in the company. They didn't just say go work with Orange Cassidy. They didn't say go work with the best friends. Sorry, Jesse.
No, it's fine. There's also never.
He loves Chuck E. T. That's why I said sorry.
There's never been a match clause that said he couldn't fight Jon Moxley for the title, so it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
they literally
totally
shelved the second biggest draw. They didn't say go work because first of all, last I checked, MJF has never worked Dark. At least I don't think anyone's seen him on Dark.
No.
He's only been there a couple of times for Warlow.
Fair enough.
But he's never wrestled.
Right.
Dark.
But that's my point. The guy is the second biggest ratings draw, and you can't just say, Max, let's find something else whilst Punk is hurt. This is the problem with Tony Khan. He doesn't have a backup plan. At least Vince had backup plans.
Right.
They shelved, again, the second biggest minute-for-minute draw in their company, who right now I think would propel them to a consistent million if he was there, especially with all the heat he created.
Right.
Oh, definitely.
But they just shelved the guy.
But yeah, I'd hope.
And he's sitting at home collecting a check.
I'd say like.
Which, by the way, is great for Triple H because now he's not taking bumps.
So I'll name the names really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Andrade comes up in June of 2024.
So these are all 2024.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrade, maybe.
Brian Cage, of course, is up in February 2023.
I could see him maybe.
I could just see him going back to the Indies.
I could see Brian.
So? Apparently, he was really pissed off about being lowballed by WWE. But unfortunately, that's what you were worth to them.
Well, but Brian's also good friends, especially with the guys over at the Super Beast training compound.
Yeah.
So he might go work with those guys for a while.
Super Beast training compound, who also puts on shows through
Dark Arts Entertainment,
which you can always check out. Dark Arts Entertainment, family-friendly alcohol, and also 420 friendly. Remember, go on the site, go on the Facebook. They actually I think they just put up 3 more events.
DarkArtsVegas.com.
And go get your tickets. I have not made the summer shows yet for other financial reasons, even though I had a show I was going to go to. I had to cancel that show because I had to use that
They
money
got
for
a-
a vehicle.
They got a show they're advertising coming up in September too.
Yes.
They have a September show, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Dark Arts Entertainment or the Dark Arts, I think darkartsentertainment.com or darkartsvegas.com.
DarkArtsVegas.com.
And make sure you go check out those shows.
Yeah, no,
So
super
Brian
appreciate it.
Cage comes up 2023.
Okay, 2024.
No, his says February 2023.
Oh, that's right. It was a 1-year option.
Yep.
Yep.
Brian Danielson comes up in July 2024.
That's
Cash Wheeler, yeah.
That's an.
That's quick.
That could be.
Here, okay. The Smarks of AEW are going to hate me. That's going to be a closer negotiation than people think.
Yes.
I don't care what anyone tells me.
Yes.
Cash just resigned earlier this month. We don't know how long, but
Yeah.
he's probably going to be there till 2027.
FTR's not going back for a while.
no.
Because they like what they're doing. I mean, they
Right.
like to be able to go wrestle. Because here's the deal. Triple H said it, but how long it's going to take effect is another story. The fact that they can
It's gonna
already
take-
go work whatever they want right
Right.
now, they're going to – yeah, the guarantee's the guarantee.
Yeah.
Jericho is up in January 2024.
Come back, get the Hall of Fame, and shut up. I don't care about anything else.
That's about it. Yeah.
Apparently, his option just triggered in, but Christian is now up in March of 2024.
Okay.
Cole Cabana is signed to ROH. No one knows the details.
Right.
But he's actually not signed to AEW
No.
side anymore.
Yeah, no.
Um,
That's why he wasn't appearing with the Dark Order.
right. Which they're a waste right now. Of course, Dax re-signed as well.
Yep.
Ethan Page is up in December 2024.
I feel like Triple
because
H.
he had an extension that just kicked in.
I feel like Triple H, I don't know if Triple H knows who Ethan Page is, but I bet you if you get him some tape on Ethan Page, he looks at that guy and goes, I can work with that guy.
Lance Archer is on a handshake deal. There's no length of time or nothing like that. So
is that why he's been so sporadic in appearances?
and that's why he's mostly been in New Japan.
Okay.
I got a feeling they might try to work something out with.
He
Lance
won't be doing
Archer.
no moonsaults, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, no.
No.
Big guy doing big stuff.
You big guy, you do big stuff. Let me see if I can sound like Paul. Big guy, wrestle big guy. That's how we play the game.
There we go.
I appreciate that.
Jim comes up late this year.
Who?
Jim Ross.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Because they have lightened his schedule, so he could resign.
He's also he's not even on the back nine. Jim's on the putting green of the back
Right.
nine. Jim's
Yeah.
Joey Janela, we already know he's up. He's
yeah.
already gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Joey's gone.
Um,
Paul can't use Joey Janela.
No.
I don't know.
I'm half and half on that whole thought.
Okay.
That he couldn't. Because
Okay.
Joey Janela is a guy you can make work in sports entertainment.
That is true. But again, we
I
saw
didn't say he had to be likable,
Yeah.
but I said he can make it work.
That's-
There we go.
that's fair. That's fair.
Kenny has not signed his extension yet. And Kenny comes up February of next year.
That is going to be dependent upon if WWE can get a guarantee on his health.
Well, even if you can only use him for like big matches, I mean,
That's
Brock,
fair.
Roman, like they'll make it work. Keith Lee's not even worth discussing.
Yeah.
No.
Because he's going to be there for a while. It's a 3-year deal, though.
Yeah.
For those who thought he signed like a 5-year deal, it's a 3-year.
And
deal.
I also think that as much as we hate to say it, we know WWE's fucked up. We get that, but Jim Cornette might be right about Keith. He's almost 40. I don't know if there's anything else you can get out of Keith.
No,
Maybe
probably
get some
not.
main event stuff out of him the next few years. They won't do it,
Right.
but WWE could have.
Right.
Kyle O'Reilly, we kind of now all know, thanks to Tony, that he's there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Leo Rush, of course, is gone already. Michael Stunt's gone.
Nobody wants either one of those guys.
Malachi Black did,
5-year extension.
so he's there till 2027.
Yep.
It's a damn shame. That is a
Let him come back and do this with that production.
with PWG. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
my God.
Let him bring Brody.
Right.
Oh.
Fuck, dude.
That'd be fun.
I'm sure that's one Triple H is like, why the fuck did Dad have to do that? So the Young Bucks are actually, their deal is up in February of 2024. Neither one has signed their long-term extension. They signed what Cody once signed, which was a 3-month extension.
They won't do it.
No,
They won't do it.
they won't.
Because, Jesse, if we've learned anything over the last couple of months, they refuse, and here's the number one reason why they won't do it. They refuse to do what's best for business. Yeah, it's a funny tagline from the Authority, but Jim Cornette was right, and Jesse's going to say that one more time on the show. It's gonna hurt you, but you're going to say it.
Jim Cornette was right about them, though.
Here's the deal.
Their egos are
Here's
too.
the deal. They wouldn't.
That's their egos.
They refused to drop the titles to FTR, so they gave them to Swerve and Keith Lee. When they said, who is the best tag team in the world? Yeah, they weren't chanting, we want you against FTR. They were telling you that it was FTR.
Right.
That's what they said.
Right.
But no, this is the biggest moment in AEW's history, and here's why. Once Kenny comes back and the trios titles are on the Elite, yes, it's happening. That's not a spoiler. Or a prediction. That's just the literal fact of what's going to happen. You are going to have this divide in AEW, and it's going to be 3 factions. Three factions. It's the main event guys, like the BCC, Punk, Danielson, those guys.
Right.
Mox, all those guys. It's going to be the ROH side, which is going to be a completely separate project. Tony's going to die. And then you're going to have...
The cocaine will probably do it before anything else.
And then you're going to have the original AEW idea side.
Right.
Minus Cody, which made it good.
And plus, my whole thing is they'll probably say, because guess what? It's not like they didn't win. They won. Cody's gone.
Yeah. They got what they wanted.
Cody's gone.
The problem is that Cody was thinking long term. The Bucks are only thinking until the day they retire.
Right. MJF, of course, we talked about. It still says end of 2023. I'm telling you, it's gonna be much sooner.
Oh yeah. Especially if he doesn't get anything from Tony by the end of the year.
Right. Paul White's there. His contract comes up at the end of next year.
Yeah.
I think he'll just stick around because he's just a commentator and a coach and a producer.
That's all he's doing.
Samoa Joe did not sign his year extension. He's up in October of next year. This could be Joe's last days of being a pro wrestler. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because he could also go back and now do what he was going to do with Triple H already, which is be a coach and an agent and shit like that.
Which, by the way, he wasn't against.
He was actually all for it because then he could spend more time at home.
Right. The problem with what happened, and it's all pretty much coming out now that it's a fact. And yes,
right.
and yes, on our. Yes, no. On our previous shows, I had mentioned that they were starting afresh, but
right.
But I never denied what I'm about to say, folks. They were getting rid of the Triple H guys.
They really did.
But no. But Vince had final say, but it was Funky Love getting rid of the Triple H guys. But the thing is that no. Samoa Joe is only wrestling because guess what? That's the only thing that really he could go back to on the indies. But like Jesse said, he was never mad about the role that WWE was going to give him. He never hated that. It's just when he finally got cut, he's like, well, okay, I'll just go wrestle.
So, and it also sounds like I don't even need to have the ROH stuff because I looked that up last night.
Yeah.
Most of the ROH talent is actually only signed for 2 years. So, besides like the Briscoes, most of that original talent is only signed for 2 years. And most of it is actually only 16-month deals. So they're actually only like a year and a half.
Right. So, folks, there will be, I think, a mass exodus the opposite way in a lot of ways because Triple H, and now this transitions into a topic that's not written down, but Jesse brought it up. It is official from the WWE themselves that these tryouts were a complete disaster.
So apparently because
concussions, injuries, the whole 9 yards.
Knee injuries, elbow injuries. So Triple H, Stephanie, and Nick apparently have now decided company-wide.
Independent guys.
We're going back to
because here's the deal. Jim Cornette,
might be a good
Jim
idea.
Cornette, and this is where he's wrong, in my opinion, says you can't be self-trained. Here's the deal. If you're a self-trained guy who's worked the circuit at least you kind of get the bump idea of it,
Yes.
so they can teach you whatever else they need.
Right.
So the ban will be lifted on independent wrestlers. They're still going to be a little more picky because here's the deal: Triple H didn't sign everybody. He signed
he didn't.
the big guys.
He signed the best of the best.
Right. So you're going to see, yes, Vince sent a mass exodus one way, but Triple H is going to get a mass exodus the other way.
Right.
Because, again, the booking you need to stare at, and yes, even though it was surprisingly Funky Love and Vince before Triple H, because it's been a couple months now, the booking you need to look really closely at, and I've been talking about this person for a while, and I've been very, very skeptical, but happy every time, it's Roxy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
She came in. She's on the smaller side of even their girls, but she's getting really good booking.
Well, apparently Vince was high on her because she reminds him a lot of AJ Lee.
Right.
Mm.
Who, by the way, AJ,
Yeah.
surprisingly,
Which, who didn't start wrestling until she was like 24 or something.
right. And by the way, AJ Lee surprisingly had something nice to say about Vince on Twitter.
Apparently AJ Lee actually said working for WWE for her
Yeah.
was a dream job because she got to come every day. to
Her
work, and
stuff
her
was
bosses
more-
actually loved her.
Her stuff was more kayfabe than her husband's.
Right.
Her husband, it seemed like they were both shooting. She was more kayfabe. He was shooting.
That's because he's a dickhead, and we'll get to his comments here
Yep.
in a bit.
But anyway, so as the era begins, Jesse, you've always said you're going to see a lot of the same results Vince might have given, but
Oh,
it's going to...
this is the one I wanted to give real quick.
okay,
quick,
yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Impact names that come up.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I was watching Impact, and I knew we were going to talk about the AEW contracts and stuff
Mia
like
Yim?
that. So now that Triple H is in charge, here's some interesting Impact names.
HBIC?
Eric Young
Oh.
Ah.
comes up in October of this year.
Okay.
Jordan Grace
Okay.
comes up in May of 2023.
Yep.
Ooh.
I don't think she's going anywhere.
No.
She might not. She might end up on WWE television.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's going anywhere.
She also, here's the deal. Again, her comments about Chris Benoit did not land well with people who knew the real Chris Benoit,
No.
and that's why I think Triple H might have a little pettiness towards that.
Sammy Callahan is up at the end of this
He
year.
liked Sammy Callahan.
And
Oh.
if not for Vince, Sammy was a Triple H guy.
Yep. And Sammy's also said that a few times in interviews.
Sue Young, who spoke glowingly of her tryouts with NXT, up next month.
Okay.
Oh.
Tasha Steelz, former women's knockout champion, up at the end of the year. I'm just saying.
No. Before we go on, we are not asking that WWE quote
Right.
unquote hoards talent
Right.
again
No,
and they get
no.
everybody. We're just saying
these are people he would
yeah,
use.
we're just saying, folks, especially if he's open to working other places, you might see a lot of one-off appearances that make you go, oh, okay.
Right, right. Like I said, I wanted to bring up a few of those Impact names because and then the other one that wasn't listed here,
Yep.
the guy who always has deserved a second chance in WWE, Rich.
Yeah.
Sue Young's
Yeah.
husband.
Rich Swann.
Yeah.
He's up in February of next year.
Okay.
So those are names to keep an eye on.
Here's the other thing. Even if they re-sign with Impact, they have a working relationship
That's
with them.
true. That's
so
very true.
So that might get expedited.
That's why I've been like, I don't think Jordan Grace is going anywhere. Jordan Grace, the names like Jordan Grace, Moose,
Yeah.
Josh Alexander, going nowhere.
Sammy Callahan, though?
Jonathan Gresham's a very interesting name. Now, we'll talk about his situation here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Gresham is a guy, because he's my age. I think he's only 33.
Yep.
I think if you could get him into NXT, one, that'll help him build his name.
Yeah.
And two, that'll help him be built to a WWE audience. Now, go ahead and continue what you were saying.
All right. Where was I? Right. Okay. We are not saying that we want them to quote unquote go back to hoarding talent.
No.
It was a
That
bad
was a
idea.
terrible idea.
We are not saying that we want all of these guys to exclusively be under the banner.
No.
We are just saying, folks, the next year to 3 years of WWE, you're going to see a lot of in and out of a lot of people you never thought was going to happen.
sure.
it might kill Vince on his deathbed, but that's a whole nother story.
Well, there was a meme out there of at first it was a joke of Ciampa and Gargano, headlining a WrestleMania. It's the chair. It's a meme of him sitting in the chair at ECW, looking just completely sad.
Yeah.
And then it was, of course, SummerSlam of
watching Triple H and Nick Khan bring back people I already released.
Right, and it was just like sadness.
So it's interesting. There's a lot more hope from even people that were turned off at WWE 10 years ago.
Right.
But for those of you to sit there and be like, oh, he's just gonna redo Vince's stuff. No, he's not.
No.
You're going to see a much different product. You're already seeing a much different product. But like I said, I'm the only person that's given this timetable. And some people are coming around to my timetable,
Right.
but no one's really admitted to my timetable. I'm going to give it until Survivor Series. Maybe the Rumble before you really see the Triple H vision. Not because Vince planned everything out, but because Triple H has been a WWE guy from the get-go. He is the guy who
Survivor Series is going to look so different
yes,
this year.
but here's
Oh,
the
yeah.
deal. He is not going to just quote-unquote blow it up. I am not saying the black and gold brand is not coming back. We don't know. Jesse said a lot of changes are coming. We get that. But what I'm saying is that it's not happening. They're not literally just going to rebuild the old NXT set for this Tuesday's show. They're not doing that. That's not what I'm saying. They are going to create a cohesive storyline reason to go backwards to what Triple H was trying to do. It's not just going to be an overnight thing. So I'm thinking the Rumble is when the vision will truly be laid out. The road to WrestleMania will look like he wants it. But no, it is not going to be him repeating Vince. We all know that. But it's also not going to... It's going to be a middle between what Vince was going to do and what he always wanted to do. Because Triple H knew one thing. The black and gold brand could have survived longer, and they killed it for no reason. He knows that. But he also understands that, you know what? For better or for worse... I need to focus on developmental a little more. Right. Not saying he has to just go with the NXT 2.0 idea. He needs to 100% integrate it, though, into what he was trying to do.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's a cult following in NXT. Raw and SmackDown are still the goal. Right. I need to prepare them better for that, but I knew that Papa Vince wasn't going to take these guys, so I was going to make my own thing.
Right.
But now that he's in charge of everything, he can't just put Raw and SmackDown to the side and make the black and gold brand this big thing. He has to make it so that all three fit on the pyramid. He has to.
And
so, well, no, Jesse, you say that, and Leroy gets it. You guys are smart about that. But
yeah.
the internet doesn't understand that you're not going to get what you think you want. You're going to get what he knows is still best for business.
It has to still work overall.
Exactly.
it's not going to be instant gratification where a lot of people want.
Exactly. So what I'm saying...
I don't know about that. I mean...
Well, there's certain time instant gratification is good when you're by yourself at home.
Listen, man.
But
all I'm saying is that, like, if Alexa Bliss is like DDTing Becky Lynch this Monday, that's instant gratification. I mean,
all right,
and I'm not an Alexa Bliss stan, but I kind of want to see her DDT Becky Lynch.
That'd be fair. But yeah, no, it's going to be really... well, they're both kind of face now, so that's kind of going to be out the way.
Which sucks!
And I don't think...
Fucking up my dreams already, Triple H. This is 2002 all over again.
Are you sure? All right, come on, Jesse, slow down.
And I've seen people say, "Oh, he's gonna do something against Cody." No, he's not. I've seen that. You've seen that, right?
What?
Well, because of what Cody did when he was at AEW, the kind of
folks. The Brock Lesnar
towards Triple H.
The Brock Lesnar match where Brock started to bleed because of the match, that's what Triple H is going to do. You ain't going to see blading every 5 minutes. It's not happening. We're putting that to bed right now.
I said he's not going to take out things on Cody. It's going to be all right.
I don't know why Cody is just obsessed with fucking bleeding like a stuffed
I don't know.
pig, man.
It's not going to happen.
However, if it does end up happening, folks, they gonna teach him how to blade, not this Jericho bullshit in the fucking barbed wire match. Which, by the way, somebody actually posted a video. They took Jim Cornette's cut and they literally threw it into the match, and they literally edited it to where, the director cut to Jericho taking the blade out. He didn't cut away. He cut 2 Jericho blading himself.
Let's get into Dynamite.
No. Not yet. We're going to stay with the timeline. Ladies and gentlemen, it happened before and after the match that opened Death Before Dishonor. Jesse, one of the best wrestlers in the world, has once again, because it's happened more than once now, and it's not just Jonathan Gresham.
That's true.
Somebody's angry at Tony, and we got to talk about it. Your boy Jonathan Gresham reportedly had a screaming match with Tony.
Sure, yep.
It got loud. He tried to use the PWI ranking. He tried to say, why do I need a character? Your thoughts on your guy, Jonathan Gresham, with his fallout with Tony? Which, by the way, he's partially right. He was a world champion of a company that Tony owned, and Tony did nothing for him. But at the same time, go ahead.
I was going to say, I wasn't sure if he was going to let me answer there for a second.
I'd have shut his mic off. I would let you.
I mean, I would have had to tell you, like, either
I
you
could-
shut him up or I'm going to
I
call his
could-
future wife.
Yeah, I could one push of a button, boom, he's like, can't hear him.
Like, something.
Yeah.
Because he's depressing me over here.
I
I was in a great mood.
I should talk to his better half.
You chose to put the good at the front of the show. I let you have that. And you know I let you have that.
We're going to have to get into the shit show at some point.
Wow.
I wanted to start with this. I wanted to be done with this. But you over here said, let's start with SummerSlam. And I was like, okay.
Let's start with good. Because we never start with good. We always start with AEW.
And you always have a better show, so why are you mad at me?
I actually agree partially with Jim Cornette. Because I actually do think he's half right. And here's what I mean. Not about using the PWI rankings. That was when I heard that was a part of his argument. Like, that's a fucking terrible argument to have, brother. I love you, my brother, but that's a my boy may lust after your wife, but that's a terrible argument to have. And by my boy, I mean Leroy.
Admiring, not lesson.
Bullshit. I call bullshit, and I'm going to say it again. Like hell, this is shoot. Like hell, I'm going to let you walk away from that statement, you goddamn ODB motherfucker. Like hell, I'm going to let you just walk into the sunset. Go ahead, Jesse.
Okay.
We'll use the word lust.
All right. I lust. There's a couple of them I lust after, but that's all right.
You think?
She's high on your list.
She's quite high on my list.
So, using the PWI as the argument was a terrible argument. The argument you should have used is you bought this company. I'm one of the most recognizable faces and names of this company.
Was his deal guaranteed, or was his deal by date?
His deal was technically, he was another one who signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Because that could have been a point of contention because he'd wrestled 3 times for Tony, but he'd been signed for like the last
6 months or so. Or when did April? It was actually after April Fool's, so it had to be April 2nd. I think he bought the company.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So
Something
yeah,
like
the last 3 or 4 months, he's had him. He's basically had him. So the part of the argument was bad, but part of the argument was absolutely correct. I am its world champion, and you never thought to use me. Like, I put on 3 great shows of my own, and I was still employed with you, and you never thought to use me. You barely used me on Dark, and if you were going to use me on,
I don't even count using him on Dark. You want to use some developmental person on Dark, go for it. But the Ring of Honor World Champion?
If you're going to use
No,
the Ring
not
of Honor
on
World
Dark.
Champion on Dark, it gives you a chance to not promote it. Hey, listen. We're going to have this really cool match with one of our young guys.
Tell
Ring of Honor
Excalibur
World
to stop
Champion.
talking about moves for 5 seconds and just promote Dark. It's not that hard.
That's a Tony decision. So,
That's what I'm saying.
I know. It's a Tony decision. So, because trust me, I'm sure Excalibur would much prefer to talk about Jonathan Gresham.
If they're okay. Pause for a second. I apologize, but this is where I'm gonna give the fans what they want. I'm gonna admit when I was wrong in the sense that I have done a lot more digging ever since you've mentioned meeting the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know where this AEW version of Excalibur came from, but this is not the guy that I keep finding all all over.
Yeah, anytime you go listen to the PWG stuff before AEW, you're like, who the fuck is this Excalibur? I have no idea.
And that's where I'm willing to say that, look, because I'm still going to criticize him for what he's doing in AEW, but I am no longer going to go back and like a Jim Cornette and rip on him for his PWG stuff. I'm not going to call him sockface. The guy, for some reason, actually gets what this version of wrestling should be, but he is about as handicapped as Michael Cole has been for the last 15 years, because whatever's happening in AEW, I'm not hearing it when I go check PWG.
Right.
Not even his wrestling was that bad.
No.
Because he was at least doing what he was there to do on the card. Right. And I'm going to give him this much. I don't know his real name, but I'm going to give you this much, Excalibur. You were a guy who sat back and was at least honest that you were never a world champion style guy.
Right.
I will give you that credit, bro. I will.
He's a very honest pro wrestler.
Exactly.
Which is why he's been a great commentator for so long. Here's the thing. Part of the arguments are horseshit, but part of them are correct. Now, here's where I differ from him. One, I understand asking out. I do. I understand being like, I'll drop this title, but I want out of here.
Oh.
Jonathan Gresham is the tantrum. So basically, he throws a tantrum over the fact that Tony's like, well, technically, I still got you at least for a year. Okay, but by the way, that's comments like this are going to come back to haunt Tony in the future.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
You said you weren't like Vince, and you sound a lot like Vince.
We talked a lot last week, especially when I came back, about the stories that are going to come out about the Elite in the next 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Put him over while he's signing the check, but once the check stops, let me tell you something. There's going to be some Tony Khan stories as well.
Right. So, by the way, which is why they got all pissy and antsy when all of a sudden Swerve, yeah, not the male, the female.
Swole.
Thank you,
Swole.
Big Swole, yeah.
Thank you. Big Swole was talking about, like, some of the backstage stuff isn't all, like, hunky-dory. So
I think we all knew that. She just confirmed what we all knew. Because here's the deal. This is wrestling. While there are good locker rooms, we all know in this situation there was no goddamn way.
And not everyone was going to be happy in that kind of
But you want to know what has more heat than the AEW locker room with Big Swole? Haitian Heat hot sauce.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Sands, local boxer, his fight's back on. They're going to have themselves a nice little fight.
All right.
Before we get Al on, we're going to talk to John, who's part of his fight team, come on, talk a little boxing as well, because John really wants to do that. So we're going to bring John on, talk a little boxing beforehand. He's a huge boxing nerd.
Awesome.
He recently just did the last ESPN boxing card. He was a photographer.
Oh, cool.
He actually did
Nice.
photography for that card.
Wow.
But yeah, no, Haitian Heat hot sauce and the barbecue sauce.
Yes, right.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Jesse has said numerous times in the show, the Amazon store is on its way. It's still rough, but Amazon's a little more complicated for local people than you think.
Correct.
But, folks, Haitian Heat on Facebook, you can still place your orders. They do email you during each part of the process. Understand that when you are getting a process that they will not compromise on, it will take a little longer. Let me tell you something. Each and every single bottle that is in the array that they have is worth every moment of your eating pleasures, and they will make sure that you get it at the absolute best peak of its condition.
Right.
So the only thing that they ask is that everybody understands that your orders will be updated, your orders will eventually be placed, but we are making sure that you still get the best quality of Haitian Heat because if there's one thing I know about Al, the man does not half-ass anything in his life.
Oh, no, he does
full
not.
go, all go.
Oh, my
all
God,
time.
yes.
So,
He
it's
is,
100%
yeah,
work.
no. So, but yeah, we look forward to eventually having Al on, and we look forward to his fight. But yeah, Haitian Heat hot sauce. Please go place those orders today on Facebook. Again, other ways of retail are on their way, but as of right now, again, business is tricky, folks.
So Facebook.com/Haitian Heat. And while we always enjoy being your form of entertainment, your form of escape, remember, your mental health absolutely matters.
100%.
Yes,
and
it does.
here is a way for you to make sure that you get the help you need from BetterHelp.com.
So anyway, Jesse, we were talking about the whole situation with Jonathan here.
That's right.
You're obviously I really don't want to put a percentage on who you're on, because I feel like there's there's peaks and valleys for both people.
Right.
But like we were talking about, Tony, the stories that are going to come out in 4 or 5 years, we'll have to wait on that. We will be here for that because I don't care if this show's been dead for 2 years. There'll be a revival show for me to talk about these stories. I don't give a damn.
If I'm still kicking, we're still doing it.
Damn straight. But anyway.
And I've been here for thousands of years.
Tony is Tony. We get that.
Right.
But now you're a little disappointed in a guy that you call easily on any given night a top 10
Because like I said, the
technical wrestler.
tantrum to go ahead and cancel your shows and this and that. Like, you have a right to be upset. And by the way, it is your company, and I respect that. But like the one who runs in Atlanta, but
Terminus, yeah.
It's just you're throwing a tantrum for what? So you're gonna punish the other wrestlers because you're getting mad at Tony Khan?
Here's what Jonathan made a big mistake on. He fell for the trap that everyone said, oh, well, this was Vince for years. He fell for the same trap. At the end of the day, the promoter's the promoter.
That's right.
At the end of the day, Jesse, a leopard doesn't change their spots. A tiger can't change the stripes.
And Tony Khan ain't worth shit.
And at the end of the day, Tony Khan is just like every other wrestling promoter that's ever been in the business. At the end of the day, the office wins. You want to know why? They cut the check.
Right. And in contract situations, you got to read the fine print. Like, it truly does matter.
This is why Jesse's our treasurer, because, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anyone in this world that I trust more to read contracts other than Jesse, it's my aunt. But she's a lawyer, so that's why.
I have to say it's a part of her job.
You're the biggest non-lawyer person that I trust to read a contract.
Because I don't like to sign anything that I don't trust.
Exactly. But that's just it. It's just look, John, we know your ability to wrestle.
Right.
But there's a couple of things at work here, and this is Jim talking, not me. Bro, you're still not bro, size does kind of matter at the top of the key. I get you were the Ring of Honor guy and that wrestling that company was a bit different. I get all that. But bro, there's a more professional way to do this. There's a better way to handle this. You got screwed over because Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing with ROH because he bought a toy. That's all he did.
He overpaid for it.
He severely overpaid for a toy. But Jonathan, what you need to understand is that I'm also going to blame you. And Jesse, let me finish before you go on, and I'll let you respond. You were the Ring of Honor World Champion.
Right.
You were keeping this alive, a la AJ Styles when he was the Impact Champion. Did he defend it in Japan, or was it just local?
He defended it
In Japan? Okay. But anyway, Jonathan, you sat there, and you watched this man buy this company. And you watched him treat the two of the biggest originals like nothing. And I don't want to hear that, oh, it's the TV stations. No. You have money. You have power. You have grit. You can pay the fines.
Right.
Because you're paying half this roster's like paying fines. Cut half the roster and funnel the money into the fines for putting the Briscoes on television. You took.
You're being punished.
You want a rant, Jesse? Here's a rant. You took the greatest in-ring tag team before FTR finally got their shine.
Yeah.
You took arguably the best consistent tag team of the last 15 years, and you just said no because a TV station said, we're mad about tweets from 10 years ago that have been apologized for, that have been redeemed for.
Right.
Jay knows he made a mistake.
Right.
Jay's kids are older now. Leroy, when your kids get older, you think a little differently about the kids.
Oh, yeah.
Look, you're still a parent. You still want the best for them, but you understand when they get older, you don't have to protect them as much as you did when they were smaller.
Yeah. I don't protect my son who's 27 as much as my 10 or 7-year-old.
That's literally the example I'm trying to use.
Yeah.
He apologized. They were simply words. I don't think Jay hates a person on this planet. He's a very nice guy from what I've heard. But you put the dude who more recently than these tweets, and Jim was right, robbed a bank, high on methamphetamines, and got you messed around with a pizza sponsor who's a national pizza sponsor.
Right.
And that guy was on your television, and TNT doesn't seem to say that's no, because I have heard nothing about them banning Nick Gage anymore.
Right.
But you won't let the Briscoes on? Are we so mad about angering people who probably won't even, and again, I'm not going against the LGBTQ community, but I'm going to be honest, we're mad about angering these people who won't even watch.
That's true.
And you won't get the best tag team of the last 15 years. FTR's now the best. I agree with that.
Right.
But the best tag team of the last 15 years, you won't put them on your national television show.
Right.
Jonathan, you had to know this was going to come. Claudio shows up. He's the new shiny toy. The dude that you're talking about, the dude that you lost to, the guy's the new shiny toy. This is a Tony Khan special.
Right.
The new toy shows up. That's who I'm gonna feature.
Who's the next toy?
If it's in Ring of Honor or Impact, just fucking name it as soon as his contract is over.
There you go.
Here, because it doesn't even look like New Japan is really willing. They might do another Forbidden Door, but that's going to be it. That's going to be their extent of working with AEW.
They might do a yearly one-off show. They ain't doing more than that.
Because that show is...
Because Takashita's going to be at MAW in 2 weeks. He's basically done with them. He's going back over.
And he's wrestling our boy JDX.
And we also have no idea, because Jesse reported this, and I've actually read some truth to this. We don't know how much longer Wheeler Yuta's going to be there.
Nope.
We have no idea.
Not at all.
I'd love to get my hands on that match, too.
Deal right now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, no. Jesse, your response to me basically saying, Jonathan, bro, you got to get better for yourself. And you had to know this was going to happen.
I don't know if I have to teach you the words of my guy like a New Yorker, but you're sounding like Vince Russo over there. I gotta stop.
Bro,
listen, bro.
Bro now. Broski.
All right.
Bro.
All right. Gotta hit him with that.
I'm not working at a secondhand video shop.
He's also not booking really bad television, so I'll give.
Okay, all right.
We'll
let that slide.
The big
Find
thing
the chair.
overall
Find the chair.
About Jonathan Gresham. Sorry, guys, I had to stand because my knees were hurting. The big thing about Jonathan Gresham overall is the fact that, like, you should have known better. Like, everyone, like, you talked about the Hopium. Well, AEW's in its 4th year. We know what the company is. You should realize what the company is, how Tony works. The Hopium should be gone now. You should understand what they are and what they are not.
Because now that Vince is gone, if you still hate WWE and you won't give this a second chance, then you're just clearly not wanting this to ever work.
Right, you don't want it to work.
You never wanted it to work.
So,
I put him as a Karen if they're going to be like
well, the problem's gone.
I know. Well,
next week, put this down for next week, Leroy.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the fact, we're going to expand on the internet hate needs to stop because the problem's gone.
Well, 3 of the 4 problems are gone.
Thank you. And one of them is really just more of a camera cut problem.
Right.
So I know it makes you violently ill.
Well, Jim Cornette has also said it. And the only reason I use Jim Cornette is because you guys listen to him more than most other podcasters.
Oh, I listen to a lot of them. You can use whoever you want. It doesn't matter.
Even I listened to a show of his when he saw. I decided to see what did Jim think of all this news about Vince McMahon and the retirement and all that stuff. And even he was like, yeah, I don't know how a guy's a producer for over 30 years at one place. It never happens.
Yeah.
Like, even in wrestling, it rarely ever happens. So the fact that Kevin Dunn has kept his job for over 30 years has never set right with him or anyone else. So it's, like I said.
Because even Bruce got fired in the middle of all this.
Well, Bruce didn't really get fired. It was just like, oh, we just need you to run more SmackDown. And
no, I'm talking about when he was in Impact.
Oh, yeah. Because they brought Jim in to fire him.
Yep.
Which is the funniest thing ever. It's Jonathan. I just get over your feelings a little bit, and I hate saying this to people.
Right.
Sometimes I don't, but in this case I do.
Yeah.
You got to get over yourself a little bit and understand. You should have understood when you started working for Tony what could happen.
Jesse, we're almost 4 full years into this company, and Leroy, you've been here for the whole run.
Oh yeah.
Everyone says the WWE blueprint's laid out. The AEW blueprint hasn't changed in 3.5 years.
No,
it's the same thing. That's why I said, what's going to happen with these trios titles? Name a trio that's worth giving the titles to. Oh wait, there is one, but you gave them the ROH trios titles, so they're not going to give them both belts. So name a trio that is legitimately worthy of having the title. Sure as fuck ain't the Dark Order.
Nope.
Oh.
So guess what? They're out. Name another trio.
Joke fucking group.
The Best Friends. No, the best friends have never been given. If anything, the best friends at this point, if you look at how much TV time they've been given, should be 4-time AEW World Tag Team Champions.
I agree.
No,
I agree.
Well,
it's not going to the best friends because even Tony Khan thinks they're a fucking joke.
Right.
Because look at how he makes them dress now.
Right.
The Elite are the only legitimate trios. The Death Triangle doesn't exist right now because I think Phoenix is still out.
No. It's
Yeah,
Pac
he
is-
still
Pac
is.
is going around the world defending that title that they made.
Yeah, no. So
And on
Pac,
Dark.
So Pac is busy.
Right. So the two brothers are fine.
Yeah.
Because every now and then they're still involved with Andrade El Idolo. I rolled my eyes very loudly. You cannot hear that on a podcast, but
The only other people that
We'll
people
check back
have
in the
been-
audio. We might have been able
hey,
to.
you know what? At least Andrade's not in a stairwell this time. You know.
Yeah,
There
no,
we
he's
go.
actually in the back.
Right.
The only people that group that they put was Luchasaurus and Jungle and Jungle.
We're not
Boy.
talking about that crap because I'm
But,
sorry.
Well, I don't
The
know.
lamest face turn I've ever seen in my life was after 3 weeks. The guy goes.
Well, I
from-
know, but that's the only one
Ugh.
they threw out there, and I'm like, wait a minute, who's the third guy?
Let's get into Dynamite.
No. Before we get it, Leroy, they're just gonna turn Christian face again because he's basically Big Show now. Jesse's already proven it.
That's true.
He's basically just
Well,
gonna turn like
as I
Big
say,
Show.
we know AEW's blueprint. They kind of stole WCW's blueprint
and not the good WCW, but like
and-
the Vince Russo
and
WCW.
kind of erased and put their letters on it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Bischoff keeps
We're
saying
gonna-
it every time.
We're going to
It's
get
the same
into
shit.
Dynamite, but before we do, Jesse, would you like to catch us up on where you are in the G1?
There we go.
Ah.
Yes.
Well, shit. Since we're gonna get into it.
Why not? I want to hear about the G1 because I'm sleeping because the old man here needs his rest. And after I have the girlfriend over, I need rest because
Right,
she's
right.
younger and I got to keep
You
in
know,
touch.
she keeps you up.
Well, hopefully. And then I need my rest so I can keep going because she's, yeah.
Guys, we can't get into what he's actually talking about here because we'll get pulled off the air.
No,
very
nothing
quickly.
bad.
Oh, I didn't say it was bad.
Was
I
all-
just said it was graphic.
No, nothing graphic whatsoever.
So, last time I believe we talked about night 1 through 4.
Yeah. The first, what you watch first.
Right. So we got through night 1 through 4.
Yeah.
I've only gotten through a couple more nights. So I'll just talk about the nights I actually watched so far.
Yeah.
El Phantasmo beating Yujiro Takahashi night 5 for D Block. Really good match. I actually gave him 15 minutes, which is a bit of a shock.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting because, of course, Yujiro is also a member of Bullet Club. But he's one of the original OGs of Bullet Club.
Okay. Yeah.
But they seem to be fairly high on El Phantasmo this year, building him. Remember, usually after the G1 they start to do Super Juniors, so we'll see if El Phantasmo gets a great run, not only in D Block but also in the Super Juniors, because he's not winning the damn thing.
Yeah.
Sonata beat Taichi in a freaking phenomenal match. 16 minutes. I mean, it was just freaking awesome. Taichi. So I get that they're insanely high on Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh,
also
yeah,
the fact
yeah.
he just turned 32 a couple weeks ago. So happy belated birthday to Zack. Not our Zack Sabre Jr. Me and our Zack share a birthday a day apart, so we'll usually say happy birthday to each other.
Normally, yeah.
And mine's a couple weeks before yours.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beginning of the month.
ah,
Yeah.
we're all January babies. How fucking terrible when we live up here.
So's my wife.
So is my mom.
No
so
wonder we do a wrestling
I got a mom
podcast.
and two cousins.
Literally nothing to do up north besides be cold and watch wrestling and football.
My
So, yeah,
girlfriend's in
the
December.
Taichi, I hope next year they'll start his singles run seriously.
Okay.
Because it's a lot of stop and go for Taichi. Jeff Cobb beat Padlock Fale in one of the funniest big man matches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Because basically the whole match is like Bad Luck Fale just being shocked the whole time that Jeff Cobb can actually pick him up and suplex him. And he was selling it with like this disgust that he could be picked up. Bad Luck Fale, I don't think has ever won more than 4 matches in a G1 tournament, and I don't think this year will be the start of anything different. He like always starts like 0-3. It's weird. And the main event of Night 5 was a classic. The Ace versus Naito.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm not even going to tell you what happened in the match. I'm going to tell you because they actually put this match up recently on YouTube. Go watch it. New Japan just does some of the best single stuff of all time.
They really do.
It was the one thing for years I actually agreed with Dave Meltzer about. I'm like, yeah, no, New Japan does have just the best wrestling on the planet, guys. By the way, I don't get into the tag matches when we review these. Sometimes they're really funny. Sometimes they're really good. Most of the time they're pretty good. Other times I'm just like, well, this is just here. But what's always great about New Japan is the shows are literally like 2 hours, so you get through everything fairly quickly.
There we go.
Yeah.
In Night 6, Chase Owens is continuing his great run in a great upset match. He beat the Great O'Khan without any new Bullet Club shenanigans. So he actually beat him clean.
Okay.
Evil beats...
Is Bullet Club having one of those years where they're just kind of letting everyone do their own thing, or like what's going on with that?
He asked to be able to try to win B Block by himself.
Okay.
Of course, the problem is his leader and current IWGP Heavyweight Champion is also in B Block.
You're going to have to face him at some point.
So he told him, well, that's fine, but you're not going to beat me. No. Evil. This match was fun. So hopefully they put it up. It was only like a 10-minute match.
Okay.
But Evil tricked Kenta and beat him by countout.
Kenta's been having a very admit it, you did not see Kenta having this kind of a G1.
No. Well, the funny part about this match was the fact that like it felt like what was Evil was trying to do was bait Kenta into getting disqualified. Kenta didn't take the bait, and so he ended up tricking him in a very never change Yano kind of way. He actually ended up getting Kenta counted out.
That's great.
Which made Kenta sad and laugh at the same time. It was actually really. It was the most sports entertainment thing I've seen New Japan do in a while, but it was fun. Lance Archer beat Tom Lawler.
I'm sure that was a banger.
I am telling you, dude. A lot of people need to watch Tom Lawler matches, man.
He's great.
This dude is phenomenal. This was an absolute banger.
And this is usually what happens the first time you're in a G1, especially if you're a Gaijin. They kind of give you. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. Your first couple G1s doesn't matter if you're Gaijin or local. You tend to take some beatings. You tend to take some losses.
Well, you'll take a lot of early losses, and then the story kind of goes. You start to learn, and you start to win some matches.
Yeah.
And they try to kind of build your status in the G1 through that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Tom, he forgot the biggest thing as far as in New Japan style Lance Archer. Don't piss him off. Because he will literally try to kill you.
Because he's actually allowed to be a murder hawk.
In New Japan, he's allowed to actually severely fuck you up.
Well, he's a big SOB.
Yeah, he's a big son of a bitch.
6'8", 280.
And he wrestles like a big evil son of a bitch in New Japan.
I want
to point something out. This man stands next to LeBron James. LeBron James going to be like,
LeBron James doesn't even look like a tight end like he normally looks if he's standing next to Lance Archer. It's incredible.
Yeah, he's going, sir.
And then David Finlay got the win
Ah.
over Juice Robinson.
Oh, boy.
In an absolute classic.
Wow.
It was so good. So, because at first the match kind of played as like Juice is like, I know all your shit. We were tag champions.
Right, yeah.
Like, I know you better than you know yourself. And the match kind of starts with you going like, man, I don't think David's got a shot in this match, man. But because of David's heart and his soul and because of Juice's arrogance, he ended up losing this match. It was It was phenomenal.
So now that we moved to that, how far behind are you on the G1 officially?
Okay, I did see Night 7, so we'll go into Night 7. So I haven't seen Night 8, 9, or 10.
So, okay, next week, Jesse,
or 11.
Yeah, Jesse, if you can.
Yeah.
If you can, because that's
and
a lot.
10 is tonight.
Okay, 10's
All
tonight. Okay, if you can, because it's a lot of wrestling.
Right.
Can you?
It is a lot of pro wrestling.
Can you be caught up by next week?
For sure.
Okay, so next week, folks, Jesse will have an updated card on the G1 that's currently going on. But go ahead and finish off Night 7.
So Night 7. Night 7 was a lot of fun. Number one, Tomohiro Ishii is just a Rough Rider. He main evented with my boy Tama Tonga, or as I like to call him, Samoan Randy Orton. Because he's as close to Randy Orton that's not in WWE as there is. These two beat the snot out of each other.
Is Thomas still unaffiliated?
He is unaffiliated with him and his brother are still unaffiliated with not New Japan, with Bullet Club.
So with any faction, they haven't jumped ship.
Every now and then they'll team with Chaos or they'll team with Tanahashi and stuff.
Okay,
that's because they're baby faces now, so that makes sense. Hiroki Goto beat Aaron Hanari. The truth of the match was he survived. Hanari was fucking my guy up. This is the best Hanari. This G1 is the best Hanari has looked in his whole career.
Really? Okay.
I love the heel. Bad Luck Fale, unfortunately, did get his first win against guess who? Our boy Toro. He played the game too much. Kept trying to sell him DVDs. Kept trying to sell him alcohol, get drunk during the match. Forgot that you do got to keep your shoulders down. And Bad Luck Fale decided to get serious and whoop his ass in 5 minutes. So hopefully Toro has learned from this experience.
What do you mean, hopefully? The man's been doing the same shit for
He didn't learn shit. He hasn't learned shit in 15 years.
He ain't learned shit in
We can hope,
years.
but yeah, probably not going to happen.
No. We don't want him to learn because we don't want Yano to change.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this section of the match and send it to you guys. I want you guys to watch.
Okay.
It's actually, for like 10 minutes, it's one of the most thoroughly entertaining New Japan things. Because he's literally trying to sell him alcohol as the bell rings.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's
Don't
not
get me
a
wrong.
bad
That's a
idea.
brilliant idea for Bad Luck Fale.
Because he was going to drink it all.
But at the same
Well,
time,
that's true,
Toru, Yano, I know New Japan's Jesse's domain, but come here, Yano. We all know one thing. First of all, Bad Luck is a professional drinker. The man needs a lot before it's a problem.
You're going to have to give him at least 4 barrels before he's finally drunk. And then, in the start of the G1 night for Night 7, Will Ospreay got a very decisive win over Takahashi. Takahashi Yujiro, he did get some good offense in. But like I keep telling people, Will Ospreay might end up being the guy who does beat Jay White.
Well, Will is on a tear right now.
Will is getting his championship back.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, like I said, next week, hopefully, I will have the other 3 to 4 nights completely caught up on. We'll go over them.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, is there any big standout or surprises with you so far at all, or no?
So the big one right now is Aaron Hanare.
Okay.
Because heel Hanare has been impressive.
Really?
Heel Hanare seems to have taken the kayfabe teachings of Will Ospreay of who cares if you get disqualified? Just beat the shit out of your opponent. Because if they don't want to fight you again, you're going to beat them next time.
Well, I would agree with that,
And also, he's gotten so good. He's actually added, Zach, a lot of technicality to his style.
Oh, I bet.
Okay.
So there's a lot more suplexes. There's a lot more chokeholds. Like, he's been great. And like I said, when Hiroki Goto only survives you, you're doing something right.
All right. I'm looking forward to that.
So Gato's booking so far of the G1, and their booking so far of the G1 and the stories have been really great. Actually, this might be the best G1 in 3 years.
all right. I'm looking
Okay.
forward to that match. A little.
Yeah, I
said you're
can't
gonna
wait to
send
send
me.
that to you guys.
That'd be fun to watch.
Toru Yano, it
Um,
was just funny as hell.
A couple of housekeeping things. Ladies and gentlemen, the man himself, Leroy's favorite wrestler and all of yours, Mr. Darren Corbin, has officially reached the
Yes.
milestone of 1,300
Wow.
matches.
That's using Carolina
Carolina, yep, wrestling
To-
for cosplay wrestling.
cosplay. Yeah, he has
He's Syndrome.
Syndrome in there. And if you did, he posted a picture on Facebook and on Instagram.
Yep.
It's like you never know who you'd run into.
He-
He ran into the Incredibles family.
So I
I
saw
thought that
the
was pretty
costume,
sweet.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
And he did. Did you see the video of him? Darren, we love you, and he agrees. A dancer, he really is not.
No.
He did his best.
They did,
It
they,
wa- it
they
was-
did the peacemaker dance. On
He-
the,
he- he did-
That's a great.
He did try his best. I give you that, Darren.
Yeah.
But don't.
Darren,
Don't
Darren
quit
is
dancing,
a very
Darren.
coordinated man when he's falling from heights, but he's not so coordinated on
the
both.
next
dancing,
time we
yeah.
do an actual face-to-face interview with the man,
Yeah.
I just want you to know I will not be there because I have something to say. Darren, as Syndrome, looks like Syndrome on drugs. Now, Darren is in great shape.
Yes.
Darren is so don't get that. Darren's in phenomenal shape. The guy
You-
runs marathons.
You
when he's
n-
not pro wrestling.
you need to be there when we have face to face
Um,
because he's not going to hit me. He's going to hit you.
he
All I know is he ain't hitting me, so that's all I give a shit about.
I know.
Saw, 'cause I saw the photos and I'm like, man, the guy looks great. He's gonna go have this great match because Darren always has great matches. And I saw the videos and I saw him moving around in the costume and black man. Sorry, we don't New York black man at that. Yeah. He looks like Syndrome decided cocaine was his next drug. Now, I'm not saying he's not in great shape,
Oh.
but I am saying
He
He looks a little scruffy.
He looks
a little
scruffy. Yeah,
That's
like,
all.
Like
All right.
rehab might be in his future.
All right.
you might be
so-
as Ness big
I
fan
might
there.
get my ass
All right,
whipped,
so
yeah.
before we
Yes,
move on
yes.
to a few more things, mostly having to do with AEW, tonight, Jesse will be watching
Oh god.
arguably history, arguably the beginning of a funeral. We don't know.
Most likely.
Tonight is the Ric Flair's last match.
Got it.
The card reads
That's an impressive card.
Ren.
actually a really good-looking
Yep.
card.
Ren
Narita.
Narito versus Yuya Uemura.
Yumura.
Yeah, Uemura. The legacy match. Ricky and Kerry Morton with Robert Gibson versus Pillman Jr., Brock Anderson with Arn Anderson.
That's gonna be awesome.
These guys actually do still exist. AEW forgot that.
Yeah. We didn't.
Killer Cross with Scarlett versus Davey Boy Jr.
There we go. Yeah.
That might steal the night, really.
No, what's going to steal the night will be this. The Wolves versus the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, that'll be pretty good.
Then you're going to have the Lucha match. Rey Fenix versus Laredo Kid, Taurus, and Bandito.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gresham is still obviously on this card.
I think he'll still wrestle
Yep.
tonight.
Jonathan
Oh, yeah.
will take on Alan Angels, formerly of
Dark Order.
the Dark Order. Nick Wayne and Takashita. Now we get into the big top of the card. Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu.
Oh, yeah. I
This is
saw
the
that.
one I was like, fuck, I wish I was there for it.
Yeah. That would be an
this is
awesome.
this match is going to be awesome.
Deanna Perrazzo will face Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering.
Well, we already know those three women are great, so
Yes.
Underrated is Rachel Ellering. I like her.
Yeah.
she's
yeah.
amazing.
The Briscoes versus the Bon Erics.
That
Ooh.
I love it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
The boys.
Show me the photo.
The Von Erichs, yeah. You didn't see that?
Ooh, no, I had no friggin' idea.
They announced that before they announced the bottom. Also, the Bunkhouse Battle Royal.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
It's
then
good to see the Von Erichs.
and
back
then
there.
in the main event,
Them boys are good.
Ric Flair and Andre El Idolo versus Jay Lethal and JEFFJARRETT, Jeff Jarrett.
Which is why he didn't take any bumps last night.
Yep. Ric Flair's going to die. That's my one
Oh
statement.
God. I really hope not, but
It is now time for Jesse. Jesse, I'll be sending this to you as soon as we're done, but it is
Get the
now
bingo
time for
card?
Jesse to find out what he has to do during the match tonight. Jesse, it is time for your last match bingo card. Are you ready?
Oh, shit. All right, let's do it.
From the top right over, it's 5 over, 5 down. The middle free space is just Ric Flair wooing.
Well, because he's going to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. he was out
El
drinking all night.
Idolo Lane are on the ropes.
That's going to happen.
The Flair strut.
That's going to happen.
Yep.
Interference by J.J. Dillon.
Yeah.
A little less likely, but could happen.
A
Yeah.
turnbuckle flip.
Turnbuckle flip.
Like he does, like Flair always did. I guess.
You know how Flair flipped over
over
the
the-
turnbuckle?
Well, yeah, he's going to fucking do that stupid shit. He might not even do it. Jeff Jarrett might
Yep.
do it.
Yeah, somebody might.
A
Yeah.
low blow.
Well,
yeah.
that's gonna happen.
Oh,
A
yeah.
David Crockett Noom ad.
For some reason, it'll be there.
To be the man promo.
Unfortunately.
A
Yeah.
top rope slam.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
A back body drop.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
A lethal Flair impersonation.
Oh, God. Yes, please.
A figure 4 leg lock.
Oh, for sure.
Well, yeah.
An eye poke.
yeah.
Yeah.
The free space.
Couple of them. That's
A-
a definite one.
A ridiculous flop.
Oh, there'll be like
duh.
17 in this.
Save with Conrad ad.
That actually could happen.
Jarrett goes
But
over.
that's funny to people,
Yep.
but that could happen.
Yeah.
Jarrett goes over.
That could happen.
Oh, yeah.
Fifi escorts to the ring.
That might happen.
Death is on this card.
I
That-
hope that doesn't happen.
I really
I
hope. Oh
hope
my
that
god.
doesn't happen.
Oh my
A
god.
woo off
That's going to happen.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
either lethal or double J.
Right.
A double J strut.
That's going to
Oh
happen.
yeah.
A Charlotte cameo.
Probably.
Yeah.
A Charlotte cries.
If he dies, yeah.
A Flair knee to the head.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
A chair usage.
Yeah.
And Flair goes over.
Oh.
Half and half.
Half
So anyway you look at it, somebody's going to win bingo tonight.
it
It's going to be a bingo, yo.
yeah.
Jesse, that's in your Facebook Messenger. Save that.
Oh.
I'm going to need you to play bingo
I
tonight.
hope he doesn't die, man.
I'm gonna
You
do
gotta.
bingo tonight.
You have to let me know how you do. The
Yeah.
Bingo.
I mean, I'll get it.
Other than that, folks, if it wasn't for the main event possibly being the end of a 70-plus-year-old man, this card actually looks great.
Oh yeah.
No. I don't think you understand the importance of what you just said. Say that again.
The possibilities of a 70-year-old man
This
dying.
motherfucker might die.
Why no? His pacemaker might blow up.
No, it won't. It's unplugged.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He unplugged the fucker. Oh god. His heart's gonna blow up.
It's so fucked up, this great card.
Well, somebody.
It's main evented by this.
Did you see it? Somebody stated that he's been drinking
Every night
every
leading
night,
up to it.
so he's in the nature boy mode.
Ashley apparently yelled at him earlier this week because he's talked about taking a top rope bump.
Yep.
And she's like, you're out of your fucking mind. No.
Yep.
And I hope he listens.
Oh, this is
She couldn't talk her daddy out of doing the stupid match in the first place.
I know.
Jesse.
If he survives, he might die
Jesse,
on her hands.
I've never understood
This
him.
might be your punishment for not watching
the match
Road
he
to the
got
Top.
with Sean was great to go out on.
No,
Well, he's recently even said he regrets coming back to the ring after that.
Like that was a great send off.
But at the time, Jesse, it's that old adage of he just thought he had so much left, and Rick, you didn't.
you didn't have any more
Like-
left in the tank.
You let Shawn do it. It's the old fucked up adage for Shawn Michaels because he was one of the greatest of all time. You let Shawn take heat for ending your career because Shawn could take it. Poor Vince always put Shawn in these terrible, terrible binds. But it was the right way to go.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
Still,
Even babyface Shawn knew he was going to take heat for ending Ric Flair's career.
Yep.
and
Well, it's,
I never give him heat for that.
Before
I,
we get
I,
to Dynamite,
well, I, never
I give
did.
him the
before
love
we
of
get
my
to
life
Dynamite
for
and all
that,
that,
We all cried like little bitches.
we did.
Yeah,
I
we-
hated the Ninja Onions that night.
Yep.
I know,
Before
so
we-
did I.
Before we get to AEW,
So did
and
I.
yes, we're going to end with this because Jesse wanted to. I'm going to blame Jesse on that one. Before we get to that, Jesse,
I was happy we just didn't end with Ric Flair's death.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then you need to use our link if that happens.
God.
Jesse, Mr. Second City Saint decided to talk one more time.
I'm so this asswipe.
So now we're gonna talk about that.
Hey, Chicago,
He's so bitter.
Can you guys just adopt Mustafa Ali?
Please?
Just be like, actually, we don't know CM Punk. Mustafa Ali is our favorite. And we can all be happy and move on.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Dude, we get it. You never got to main event WrestleMania. You know who else didn't? A lot of Hall of Famers.
A lot of Hall of Famers.
A lot of all-time greats. Last I checked, Ric Flair how many did he get? Ric Flair probably should have gotten more than what he got.
I think he only had 5 WrestleMania matches.
And when were they? And did he?
Most of them were later in his career.
Yeah. Did Rick ever get a main event in his prime? No.
Well, the stuff with Shawn was considered a main event.
Obviously, yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, but remember, Punk's the guy who said, and I quote, "The main event's the last match that goes on."
That's not true, though.
Well, but remember, this is where the guy lost me. Because he said it on the podcast with Colt Cabana that they were like, well, you're facing Triple H in a double main event. No, the main event's the last match. Punk, that's where you lost me. That's where I no longer cared about this. That was the moment. I don't care when anyone wants to look at me and say, really that? No, that's when I was done with it. Because it's like, bro, the main event of WrestleMania 17 was what? Rock versus Hogan.
Right.
End of conversation.
And that wasn't at the
Nobody
end.
needs to question this.
Right.
And guess what? Even Jericho was like, yeah, we shouldn't have gone on last.
Right.
But it's like, bro, can we be done? Can we just stop? What else can you say that only how do you, who by the way, you are a fairly intelligent human being. You married that wonderful woman. You have a decent artistic career, but you can't tell the only people still in your corner are a bunch of smarks?
He's the new bitter old man.
He's not even that old.
I know, but he's the new bitter old man.
Yes, I can see why I idolized Brett.
They are both
'Cause
a
he's-
bunch of Canadian scandalous bitches, aren't they?
Is CM Punk from Canada?
No, he's from Chicago, but either way.
Oh yeah, he's pretty close.
He
just-
bitches like a Canadian when they can't win the Stanley Cup, so I'm going to give it to him.
He just has to go across the lake. and
Disown
there he's
Justin
there.
Bieber, you'll win a cup. I've been saying this for
Disown
20 years.
Dude, Justin Bieber can die. I don't give a
Justin
shit.
Bieber has been decent as he's gotten older.
He's had no choice. The wife finally smartened him up.
He's been a decent dude for a while.
I haven't heard from him.
Unlike CM Punk, who can't grow up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, by the way, Punk, you
AJ
go
has
be,
to do
all
that
right,
to him.
All
I
right,
don't know.
Leroy doesn't know this. You kind of know this.
Oh,
During
shit.
the Death Before Dishonor media scrum,
Oh, great. You didn't.
Punk was a topic of conversation for Mr. Tony Khan. He was asked, I believe it was the PWI insider guy, asked the question. By the way, Ringside News is nowhere near these press conferences anymore. They shouldn't be anywhere near anything after that bullshit.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, legitimately, and I quote, when do you think Punk is going to be back? Do you think are you thinking Labor Day in Chicago because they have 3 shows in Chicago?
Right.
It's going to be All Out, Rampage, and Dynamite.
Right.
Which, by the way, Dynamite is actually scheduled for the night after Rampage. I'm guessing that's a TNT thing. So don't fucking film it right after Dynamite. It's not that hard, you idiot.
Go other dumbasses.
Plus, they're only there for an hour show. But anyway, so he decided to get asked about.
They got to tape Dark and Dark Elevation, even though they have a full studio to do all that stuff.
Yep.
Right now.
They're dumbasses.
But anyway,
sorry.
so Punk. So
one person
he was
is.
asked about Punk,
Yeah.
and
He couldn't answer?
no. He answered. He answered about something about what I don't know because he talked for about 5 minutes and got nowhere. Because this man basically said, and I quote, well, I didn't hear him at the panel at San Diego Comic-Con, so I don't want to step on his toes and say anything he did. Oh, so wait a minute. You're telling me that you didn't clear an interview with somebody? You didn't know exactly what they were going to say? Sounds a lot like someone else you should actually be opening the paycheck for.
There you go. Yeah.
His dad tried this with Urban Meyer last year during the football year when his dad was starting to come to the realization, fuck, I should have never hired this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Tony's too much of a mark for that.
Tony, you're full of shit, man. Of course you heard what he said. You want to know how we all heard what he said? because he said a lot at Comic-Con. He had a whole lot to fucking say at Comic-Con.
Which was pretty unfair.
God, I can't stand Phillip Brooks.
Which was really unfair because there were a lot of people on that panel.
Yeah, there was.
But hey, it's got to be about Punk.
Well, this is the thing I had the argument with somebody about when the Punk stuff first came out, was I looked at someone and I said, look, you can love the guy, that's fine, but let me be very clear. Anything this guy has ever asked for, if you actually analyze it, ROH, WWE, blah, 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 it's always been a bunch of bullshit where I want change if it benefits me.
Right.
I want better for the locker room if I'm the top guy in the locker room. I want ice cream bars as long as I get my main event.
Right.
Bro, everything you've ever said is what Triple H said, shoot in the ring.
Right.
You care if it matters to you.
Right.
Because okay, let's just go back in time here. I still have the time machine. I'm storing it in Leroy's backyard. He doesn't know about it. Nobody tell him. It's disguised as something else. You'll find it later. Anyway, I send
the kids after. They'd never find it.
Exactly. But anyway, we're going to go back in time. Let's say he gets the ice cream bars. Let's say he gets let's say that he gets change. Let's say Triple H takes over long before that, or someone else does, and he gets all this stuff, but he never gets a main event. He'd still be bitching to this day because he wanted one thing. He thought that wasn't too much for a star.
Yeah.
And he never got it, and he will on his deathbed still be bitching about this. And that is why I don't give a shit about this anymore. Because guess what, bro? You bitched about this for 7 years when you were gone.
Right.
You've
Right.
cut the same promo from the day you walked in Rampage.
Right.
You have.
Right.
And by the way, can I also
so
be honest
over him.
about one thing? Dude, you wanted change. You named all these guys that Vince cut. You named them all. Chris Masters, Chris Adonis now,
Right.
all this stuff. You named all of them. Bro, you came into this company about working with younger talent. You beat them.
You beat all of them.
Daniel Bryan, who we're about to talk about, Bryan Danielson, just put over a guy.
Yes, he did.
Bryan Danielson has losses and ties
Right.
in AEW.
Right.
You can't take a loss unless it's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and you fucking knew you couldn't beat this guy because even the crowd would have turned on you.
Right.
You are you know what? I'm surprised Punk didn't end up with the Bucks before Cody. They're all as delusional as they fucking don't want to say they are.
Yeah.
Take out Kenny, because at least Kenny was mulling over a 7-figure contract, and insert Punk, and what's the difference? The Bucks are still just a bunch of bitter old bitches, but they got another bitter old asshole they can work with.
Yeah, he's the older, bitter asshole.
Instead of tagging with what they're going to try to do and tag with Hangman, they should actually just tag with CM Punk. You know?
Oh, yeah, by the way, your former
'Cause
world
they're
champion's
they're
going to
just
tag
three
with a
bitter bitches that no one wants to listen to anymore. I am tired of this man and his comments. Just because you have the right to speak doesn't mean you should.
Yes.
That is true.
They always tell you freedom of speech actually has its limits.
Yes.
You cannot run into a burning theater and yell fire when there is no fire to cause chaos.
When you are,
that does not protect you.
as I had to explain, if I may, to some high school students I used to go to, and if them hear this, thank you for listening, but you were all wrong. The freedom of speech ends at the door.
Right.
Because guess what? It's called a private institution
Right.
now. Shut the fuck up.
And in his case, it's just bitch complaint after moan.
He
and
can't
bitch
even have fun at
complaint.
San Diego. Who the fuck doesn't have fun at San Diego Comic-Con?
You look fucking miserable.
I know he
what,
did.
dude? Why did you go? Because Tony paid you to go?
Maybe his foot still hurts.
Hey, if I pay you, can I bang AJ Lee so she doesn't have to bang a bitch every night? What is his problem?
I am so over Philip
Shut
Bro-
the hell up!
Oh my god.
Maybe,
I am sick of this man.
maybe his foot still hurts him.
Oh, his foot hurts. We know that. He ain't coming back by Labor Day.
No. I'm not. I don't care if his foot hurts or not. Because you know what? That's something else to just bitch about. Shut the fuck up. And then, of course, everything he had to say about WWE. And that's how I knew Tony was full of shit. Because you addressed that he said that,
Yep.
but you didn't hear the other stuff.
Yep.
Guys, the reason why ourselves and now apparently Steve and Larson have taken a little bit of heat is because we're the last of, especially the American viewers, because none of the British podcasters would talk about it. And you guys already dubbed Jim Cornette the biggest hater of AEW, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
we're not the biggest haters.
I'm working on it, but apparently,
Son of a
apparently, I actually per minute compliment them more than Jim Cornette does.
Okay, yeah.
What does that
you
say
might.
about us?
maybe we do. Because I'm fair to wrestling. I try to be very fair to wrestling.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. And we do actually like some indie stuff.
But this son of a bitch.
I swear to God.
I've had it with him. And then cocaine feud fucking Tony Khan. Get the fuck out of here. You guys named this man Booker of the Year twice? This guy?
It's about to be 3 times.
Really?
Well, he's
Really?
given.
There's no one else on the list. Don't give me the list of who it is. There's no more nominees because guess what? They said it on the internet finally. Can we finally admit that these people that go to these media scrums are paid by AEW? And I commented, we already knew that. Why are we just now getting to this conclusion? Dave Meltzer took 10 years to give a 5-star match to the WWE. I know that it wasn't their best era, but they had 5-star quality matches.
Yes, they have.
Oh God, yes.
Don't give me this shit.
NXT damn sure did in those
That's
years.
what I'm fucking saying.
But
it took you 10 years, but you gave Nick Jackson or Matt, one of the they are apparently the GOAT according to the Wrestling Observer because they have the most 5-star matches of all time. And yet, you know what never got a 5-star match? I'm going to say it again. Flair Steamboat. Fucking Flair Sting. They never had a 5-star match.
Oh God, yes.
How many Starcades did they main event?
Yeah.
What? Flair and
He didn't give 5 stars
Anybody.
to Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask.
Which is bullshit.
Those matches are why you have 90% of what you have right now.
Exactly.
he didn't get any sexual favors. That's why he didn't give 5 stars.
How can you do it? How can you bang someone that has an office like that?
Well, that's why
I don't know.
Siegel has an office like that.
Oh my God.
Being a wrestling fan doesn't make you a
For
loser.
10 years, you're telling me that a wrestling company of that size didn't have one gem in 10 years? I'm sorry, Shield Evolution,
Yeah.
those were still good.
Oh God,
When,
yes.
when Dave was still motivated to be a wrestler. John Cena did have some decent matches despite the 5 moves
Steven
of Doom.
Larson might be polite about it, but on this show, I will not be polite about it. CM Punk is one of the worst fucking things that happen to pro wrestling, and I blame Vince McMahon. You want to know why? And to the CM Punk stands, you want to know why I blame Vince for him? Because he gave you what you wanted, and you still didn't thank him.
Nope.
He made Punk a star. He
Yep.
said, fuck it, I'll put the company on his back because everyone thinks I should. And maybe it was the right thing in certain senses. But because Punk didn't get fucking everything he wanted, he complained like a little
No.
bitch.
Pause. We need to make this clear. We're all on the same page. I'm not questioning what you're saying, but we need to make it clear. And I'm going to say this to every motherfucker that comes at me from here on out. He got everything but one thing.
Main event.
You got everything but one
He didn't
thing.
get the ice cream bars. He got main events.
No, he didn't get.
No, he
his,
didn't. No, he didn't get the WrestleMania main event.
He didn't get a
That's it.
WrestleMania
That's the
main
only
event.
thing on his list of demands he
Wasn't that
never
Rock
got.
Cena for that year or whatever?
Yep.
Well, guess what? Rock and Cena sell a stadium out.
Yeah, you didn't. He wouldn't.
You couldn't sell out the
Well-
bingo halls. Danielson and Joe sure as fuck did.
Right.
If they were in Chicago, it would have been sold out. Yes.
You got everything you wanted but one thing, and you are the most ungrateful son of a bitch I've ever seen in any sport.
I never thought I would say this about a Triple H shoot promo. Boy, he looks right.
He looks-
He looks so fucking right.
But again, growing up is where you realize Triple H made sense and
Right.
Punk was a selfish douchebag.
Right.
Yep.
He actually saw through this motherfucker the whole time.
And to be fair, he admitted in that shoot promo, I'm a selfish motherfucker.
Right.
But I at least had the guts to do what was best for business because I had to get humbled a few times.
Right.
The problem is, look at everywhere that CM Punk ever worked. They catered to him because he brought an audience that spent their money.
Right.
Well, guess what, Punk? They're not spending their money because this company is nowhere near what it should be without you. And I get it. You're a star. I'm not taking away what you did. I am all for selfishness. I'm all for getting paid because that's how the world works. I got a few people in my life that don't like that. Don't like those comments. You know one of them.
Yeah.
But fuck, that's how the world works.
That's how the world works.
But guess what? At least when you get something, you can fake being apologetic and fake being thankful. You are a selfish prick, and you have been that for a long fucking time. Timestamp this.
3 hours and 9 minutes in.
Okay, so about 3 hours in, turn on the damn podcast. We haven't even gotten to Dynamite, but that ain't going to take long because God did it suck. But here's the deal.
CM Punk is like having a fucking older sibling who appreciates fucking nothing. Like, it is so infuriating. Like, dude, like, how much more can you be given before you just shut the fuck up? Like, at some point.
Jesse reported your deal was $8 million. You got $8 million in wrestling, and you're bitching about anything?
He literally bitched it because everyone was like, hey,
he got $8 million with his new signing here?
Yeah, so, because
they keep asking for Punk money. If Moxley's making $6 million, but Cody, MJF, all these guys, if they keep saying, because by the way, one thing is in common of every report of top guys asking for money. Everything is the same on one topic. They want, quote, Punk money.
Because he's getting paid like $8 million a year.
And if John Moxley's maxing out at a reported
I'd
6,
love it.
and that's been confirmed by everybody. If John's at 6, you know Punk's getting at least 20% more.
So John is technically on par with Brock if you add in his New Japan contract as
Right.
well. But otherwise, like, yeah, man. By the way, that's per appearance basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he's earned that, by the way.
Yeah.
He earned that.
Yeah.
Oh, John,
But you want to know what John also didn't do? He's not bitter.
No.
He's not bitter. He doesn't
Yeah.
go around crapping on WWE whenever he can. He's the first one to go like, listen, in my book, I said what I needed to say about certain creative guys.
Yeah.
But he's like, my relationship with Vince was great. My two brothers, they're still my brothers. I talk to them all the time.
Yeah.
Renee talks to them all the time. Like, but CM
I wouldn't be
Punk
surprised.
cannot help.
I wouldn't be
being
surprised with this
bitter.
new deal of Triple H if you don't see Seth on the oral sessions pretty soon.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Seth would do it before Roman because Roman's all kayfabe right now.
Right.
Seth would do it first.
But here's the thing. Triple H he has tried to, and now I get why with Punk. He's always tried not to burn bridges with most of these guys and gals. Because he understands it's best for business if I swallow my own ego. Like, it's better for business if I'm smart about how I do business. But Punk cannot fucking let go what he was not given. So anytime he can take a shot, and by the way, because now when he took that shot, he also took it at a guy he knows nothing about, Nick Khan, and he's still taking shots at Stephanie McMahon. Like, dude, let it fucking go.
Stephanie had nothing to do with you. Nick Khan sure as hell had nothing to do with you.
Oh, yeah.
But you're going to say they're bad for the power structure? Nothing's going to change? Dude, they all know that Vince has to go.
Right.
They get that. Stephanie gets that.
Right. She loves her dad, but she understood that.
Dude, so what if Vince still has input? Triple H is still the man that has to make the final call. That's in writing.
I was about to say, clearly Triple H is making all the calls.
Yeah.
Vince could add any input he damn well wants because he still majority owns most of the company.
But any and all voting power that he has nothing to do with
Right.
the television product.
Right.
Nope.
It's where the company goes on a business
Right.
venture. That's it.
Right.
So don't give me this shit, Punk. Now on to Dynamite.
All right.
Before we get to Dynamite, though, Brody King got a very awkward tattoo. That was you haven't seen this?
Oh, was it Darby Allin dying or something like that?
No, it was Rest in Peace Darby Allin.
He really is playing.
He got a tombstone. I'm pretty sure it's on the wrist.
Yeah.
He got a tombstone that says "Rest in Peace, Darby Allin" on his wrist. I know they're buddies. That's a bit much. I know he's gonna die in 3 years from these bumps,
Hey,
Wow.
guys, I
but he
gotta
ain't dead
be- I
yet.
gotta be honest. Jim Cornette should love that because he's doing kayfabe. Just to show all the fans. No, I want to kill him.
Well, that's good. I
You got
know.
Dynamite up.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I know you guys wouldn't do that to me.
Well,
I'll probably outlive you,
that'd be
so
weird to put like rest in peace
I'd outlive you
when
probably.
we need you.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll probably outlive you.
We
Yeah.
love you, man.
We do.
I know. I'll outlive you probably.
We do. And
So
and how you avoided, all the history textbook writers for all these years, I still don't know.
I'm good.
how you're not in a museum being studied, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that was painful.
I'm sorry.
Next.
That's why I got out of there.
So
I don't like to be
you
poked.
weren't.
I don't want to be poking.
You know what,
prodded
Jesse?
Anymore.
If they'd had Lux photo booth back then, they might have caught him. The 3D photo experience that you can rent.
Started with the AEW championship.
They might have.
You guys are the worst.
Oh,
I
we're
I
awesome.
slipped that in.
Oh.
Okay.
We got
That's what-
Moxley versus Rude.
That's
we
what she
we must
said,
make
too.
very clear. This is their show for the military.
Right.
This is their charity show.
And on this show, I think it's $150,000 or something
Yeah.
like that they raised.
But
so-
here's the deal. WWE does show for the troops. The troops get hot. This crowd was dead.
Well, we'll get to where they
Was
died
it,
at.
was
Okay.
it crickets
So we
or what?
started- We
Oh,
started, with,
just
we started with the. They still have it pictured as the interim world championship. John Mox is clearly the actual champion.
Punk ain't coming back by Labor Day. That
Yeah.
Match against Roosh. This was a great match.
it was.
John Moxley and Roosh basically almost kind of have the same style, except of course Roosh has the physical style taught to him in Mexico.
yeah.
They actually balance really well off of each other, beat the snot out of each other.
In case you're wondering, Leroy, this reads in all caps "Rush" when you look at him on the internet.
Right.
But it,
Oh yeah. I
but it
saw
is
but
that.
it is
Yeah.
pronounced Roosh.
yeah,
Moxley won
because
with
he's a
the
very
full-
regal man.
right.
Yeah.
He's tranquilo
Yeah.
until he gets in the ring, and then he'll fuck you up.
He will fuck you up.
After a great start, it's basically almost a 20-minute match.
Yep.
Moxley won with the Bulldog choke. It was great. Choked him out. Yeah, because I don't believe he actually tapped. I think he choked him out.
Yeah.
After the match, Chris Jericho came out. Looks like in a couple of weeks we're going to get Jericho versus Moxley.
Quake by the Lake
This is the show that's in Minneapolis.
in Minneapolis,
The
Minnesota.
one I'm hoping to make it to.
They have to name every goddamn show.
And they're nowhere near a lake. They're next to a river.
Yeah, I was going to say, Minneapolis is actually was the St. Louis River?
No,
The
Mississippi River. That is born way up north here.
Right.
St. Louis is actually closer to us.
Yeah. I mean, it's all fucking connected, but.
Yeah,
St.
exactly.
Louis. No. Yeah.
So.
Jericho By the way, am I the only one that? Because the internet tried to do this, and I shut it down real quick. Somebody tried to compare this to when Jay Briscoe went after Jay Lethal with his rematch in ROH, and I'm like,
No.
I don't think so.
this is not the same. Not the same.
So Bleacher Report gave this an A. It deserved it. As far as things on the card, this was the best thing, and it opened the
They
show.
started high, and then they got low.
I thought the
Cocaine wear off.
Right. I thought the
That is true.
Jericho promo was okay. Moxley's response was much better.
Yes.
And in a couple of weeks, we're gonna get that match in Minneapolis. I hope to make it to that show.
Okay.
I thought next was still pretty good. We had the FTW Championship between Danhausen and Ricky Starks. Now this was fun, but at some point Danhausen has to start winning. Right now it's
Yep.
fine. Right now him losing is fine.
But then
So Ricky Starks did beat him, and what was really a fun, quick little
Yeah.
get your big moves in
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick. Ricky then
Got
goes,
cocky.
I still got plenty of left. Started running his mouth.
Yep.
And so Hook came out. He has another title match, and Hook won with the Red Rum.
Yep.
Used to be known as the Taz Mission. His
Yep.
dad's former finisher.
Team Taz is essentially
So Team Taz is officially done because, in a sense, so Hook and Ricky actually show respect after Hook wins.
yeah.
They come back from commercial. I
Ricky's-
watched the replay, so it came back from commercial.
Yep. Ricky's still there.
Ricky's still in the ring. Hobbs is in the ring with him. And he's cutting a great babyface promo.
It was great. I loved it.
And then all of a sudden, he gets laid out
Yep.
by a guy who just gets the business. And my guy Hobbs.
Yep.
This was great because even on commentary, Taz sounds confused because he was confused by the fact that Ricky even asked for the extra match.
Yep.
And then he was confused by the fact that then Haas beat the hell out of him.
and
it was great work.
We're gonna wrap up the show here because I don't want to go too long.
Oh,
but
no, I'm going to quickly
No. Before we leave this, though, Internet, stop it. The FTW title is not what it was in ECW.
No.
It will never be that again. It's not even recognized by AEW. If they at least recognized it, I wouldn't care.
Right.
But they don't recognize it.
This is where the show started to lose me. The match was good. It was Dante Martin versus Sammy Guevara.
Dante's hurt, by the way.
Dante is legitimately
Again.
hurt. He hurt himself on one of his high-flying moves, which that's the risk.
Yep.
The afterbirth is what started to lose me.
Yep.
So, Sky Blue took way too fucking long to come in and help Dante, even though he brought her out there to help with Ty Conte because they start stomping on the man. She finally tries to quote-unquote help. She starts getting beat the fuck up by the new member of the JAS, Anna JAS.
Anna J.
She calls herself Anna JAS now.
I know, but I don't. But guess what? I won't.
Yeah, me neither.
You ever want to see the absolute desolation of two promising young talents? Tay and Jay. That's all I gotta say.
Just watch that. Of course.
Anna Jay was the leader of the Dark Order, basically.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
No, she's nothing.
Yeah.
Ruby, Eddie, and then I think it's Ortiz who's still around.
Yeah.
Come out to make the save.
Santana basically is done with all these people.
He's not only been hurt, but yeah, it sounds like backstage he was just done with all this.
Santana wants nothing to do with this anymore.
Now the thing me and him will disagree on, me and Zach, Jungle Boy comes out for his promo. I actually thought this was the best one he's ever done, the best promo. He actually sound...
No. See, I agree with you, but the bar's not high. Because he's never spoken more than 7 words up until now.
I thought he was pretty good. They clearly had to hurry this up because then Christian kind of appeared on the Titantron. It was okay overall. They actually gave an A for the promo. I would have gave it a B because I actually thought a lot of of his stuff was really good.
Yeah, it was a solid
They gave the match a B minus, mostly because they were like the match itself was good. The after stuff was
You'd
fucking
think
stupid.
that Luchasaurus would know what he was doing because he's been around about as long as Leroy, and Leroy knows good wrestling.
Right.
Yeah,
then
that's
we had
true.
the
Yeah.
handicap match. This only basically set up the fact that Tony Nese and Mark Sterling have recruited. Let me go find his name really quick. Former Ring of Honor Josh Woods into a tag team.
Yeah.
This will be the next tag team feud. Because to be fair, Swerve basically just beat these dudes up.
Yeah.
By himself.
Yeah.
They gave this a C. There was a promo, of course, with Malachi Black talking about Miro, trying to get him to join. And then Brogan King talking about how he is now challenging Darby Allin to a coffin match to kill him. Then we had the women's championship match. I don't understand how Thunder Rosa becomes women's champion, and all her matches are now botch material.
This was so bad.
It makes no sense. The match in Japan was way better.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get how she's been so bad in America with this championship.
It's Tony is in the building. Kenny is not. Kenny is booking through text message. Tony is in the building. Tony has no idea how to do women's wrestling. And you want to know why? Because he got all his booking from 1990s WCW, early 2000s Thunder. And guess what? They didn't feature women, you dumbass! So he has no freaking clue what he's doing.
To wrap up the thoughts on the women's division.
Just the valets.
It's terrible in AEW. I think any of those women who joined thinking they would have this freedom, including Ruby Soho, must go. You must really think to yourself. She has to tell them, actually, I had a great time working in NXT with Triple H. He's very good at working with female competitors. A lot of you would probably be better off going over there.
Well, they're never going to make television. They're barely making Dark.
Right. By the way, I haven't seen Abaddon on Dark in like 4 weeks. Her contract comes up at the end of this year. It'd be nice if Bray resigns and she goes over there. Because she can actually play a Sister Abigail character. Then there was the main event. The match was good.
Match was fine.
The pile driver bump, guys, to tell Danielson no. It's okay. Danielson, dude, no. I have to protect you from you. No.
Tony can't protect anyone from anyone because Tony Khan isn't actually in charge. The boys are. He's. I can bet you one of the stories someday will be, motherfucker never said no.
What was worse than the pile driver bump? He DDT'd the man on the concrete. It made him bleed.
Also, we were in the hotel room counting. 37 seconds. They were on the floor.
Right. They were outside.
And Leroy?
Seconds, yeah.
Nobody broke the count.
Nope.
Nobody attempted it. Brian tried once, but then Brian turned right back around and went after him.
Right.
The ref never counted once. I'm not kidding. Go back. Anyone who wants to question me, go back and watch the footage. This motherfucker was not counting. Jesse, I know you and I got into this a couple weeks ago. It might have been last week. You were okay with the moment, but I do not like the ref getting out of the ring unless they go in the crowd, especially if he's not going to do shit.
Right.
Yep.
I agree.
You give crap to Vince for his over puppet mastering control, and the refs have to do this, and the refs are nameless, and they have the worst referee crew in the goddamn game.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't do anything. And yes, everyone's like, well, you want the referees not be seen. I want them to at least do their fucking job.
Right. Yeah, so Garcia does get a very huge and important win.
Yeah.
Because of the interference of Jake Hager, they do give Danielson an out.
Yep.
So in respects to that, the finish of the match works all together.
Can I also point this out?
Yeah.
As much as I didn't care because I am smart to the wrestling business, and I like the wrestling business. But now we got to talk to some AEW fans for a second. Vincent Kennedy McMahon has been ripped across the goddamn coals for years by you people for sending a wrestler out there and possibly making fun of something that's going on in their personal life. Possibly poking at something. How dare you make Cody Rhodes go out there and wrestle with a torn pectoral? But we're okay with Danielson taking a pile driver and also Danielson doing a simple missile drop kick, landing it fine, by the way, and then all of a sudden laying there because, oh, I'm still woozy from my concussion. That was not fucking a kayfabe. It was a shoot, you goddamn idiots. This is where I'm getting pissed because, again, shut the hell up. We're opening the show with this next week to get this rant of Vince is gone out of the way. But,
all right.
But we're all going to be at least serious about it. But here's the deal. You would have killed Vince McMahon if he'd sent someone out there to make a phony head injury angle in the modern day. You would have killed him for it. But Danielson, there's fucking crickets on the internet.
Right. I agree.
The man
Yep.
found a way to reverse brain damage, and we're just going to go right back to what caused it? You wonder why Vince outlawed the pile driver. You can't protect people with it very well. The tombstone's a little bit easier, but only one man got to do that.
Right.
Yep.
Now, Okada's is not bad.
No.
Okada's fine, but you know what? Knock on wood, because I doubt he'll all of a sudden become a problem.
No.
Okada doesn't hurt people.
No, he doesn't.
So no, I am done trying to get all of you to even, quote, listen to this. Because here's the deal. If you're going to be this stupid about it, I don't want you listening. Because I am not about to deal with hypocrites. Vince McMahon would have been raked across Hell's Gate for doing this match. But because Tony Khan did it, it's smart booking.
Yep.
The concussion was real.
Right.
This man has children, young children. And he clearly doesn't give a fuck. He and Darby Allin should be a tag team.
Oh,
yeah. Like I said, I am.
How just blatantly disgusting is this, Jesse? I'm sorry. I'm being serious. I like the match. I get it as a wrestling fan. But please, how disgusting was that little story in the match when you know what he just came back from?
You don't. To me, you don't do it. You don't do it.
He spent the majority of this match loopy.
Well, Roman put him in the not the grapevine, but the chokehold thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can protect him through that because you're not actually choking him. So yeah, it's about protecting the performer. You know what, man? All I'm gonna say is this: the day Nick Khan gets that deal done, let your contract expire, Daniel O'Brien. Come on back.
Or just ask to leave.
Right, come on.
You think
Yeah.
Tony Khan's going to be able to push that guy around?
Come on home, brother.
No.
You want to know why? I get why you're trying to do what you're trying to do. Let WWE pay you more money and protect you. You know Triple H has to be like, come on home. We'll pay you more. Have to wrestle less.
And by the way, as strong style as it is, Gato ain't letting you take that bump.
He's not letting you take a DDT to cold concrete, knowing your history. He barely lets Naito take knee fucking bumps at this point. Like, you just got to be smart about it. I get that it was for the story. But like I said, the one that was worse was the damn DDT to the concrete because anything could go wrong.
Yeah.
You guys keep telling me AEW is a pro wrestling company, and I just don't see it. As much as I'll give them credit for stuff, you keep telling me, they're the pro wrestling company. I don't see it. I don't.
Nope.
Maybe I'm too much of a New Japan stan, but I'm just telling you that's the actual pro wrestling company. Because I don't know what the fuck AEW is doing week to week. And the constant heel turn, face turns. The not using the women at fucking all, basically. Or putting them in what feels like bullshit Attitude Era storylines.
You remember?
It's fucking worthless.
You remember when Vince gave Nakamura the Intercontinental Championship and it basically meant nothing for the whole reign? That's Thunder Rosa with the women's world title.
And it's botch after botch after botch after botch after botch.
And she's not working with green talent. That's the part that I don't
Exactly.
get. These women are not that bad.
These television matches are getting worse. You're the champion now. What is happening? There is, as Steve finally said, and he took heat from AW stance. There's no more fucking passes from them, people. There's no more passes. We're 4 years in. Do better. We got on Vince for all these years. Now I'm getting on your brand new baby. Do fucking better. It's if I want you to succeed, which is why I get mad. Do better. This is bullshit every Wednesday. Because there is good stuff, but there's so much bullshit. And I didn't even get into the Jericho stuff. So if you're on the Patreon, luckily for Cal, he is. So subscribe to the Patreon. Tomorrow, I will be getting into depth on why I get on the AEW Snark so much. Come join the conversation. Patreon.com/13card subject with the number 2 changed. Subscribe to either $3 or $5. Because this is bullshit. There is no giving them a pass anymore. We're 4 years in. Do better.
Or better yet,
because guess what? Triple H is going to do a lot better within the next 5 months. And you're not going to be able to defend this anymore.
Leroy,
that's true.
Leroy, you've got the thing down next week for AEW. I got another thing for them.
Oh, yeah?
Literally just write this down. Wasted momentum. Because we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how
Forbidden Door, Revolution, and you've still come out of it and done fucking nothing.
not only that, but we're going to talk a little bit about how you were basically handed the ability to win the war, and you didn't want it. That's the teaser for next week. Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please subscribe to our Patreon. Please subscribe to our YouTube. Please subscribe to us on Podomatic.com, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes. We're in all those places. We love you all. And again, you're more than welcome on the show anytime.
Also, remember, use the BetterHelp. We actually do care about your mental wealth. If you are struggling, and we appreciate being your way out of the real-world issues, but also make sure that you are giving it a visit. Check it out. Use them if you need to. I actually am scheduling myself to use it myself. Sometimes it's just good to talk to people. Because while we enjoy entertaining you, when we talk about AEW, it won't feel so damn entertaining. So, yeah, remember to use it. Also, like he said, get on the Patreon, because this week I am starting all of my content.
Jesse will be putting the link on our Twitter. We'll be adding the link to our Facebook as well.
There we go, yep.
If you would also like to